Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi out here. It is Sunday, and yesterday was a really, really busy day for Raptors Nation. All kinds of stuff happening yesterday. Wish more positive things were happening, but one really big positive thing happened. We finally made a big trade. OG Ananobi, Precious Achua, Malachi Flynn going to New York for RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, and New York's second round pick, which is by Detroit, which means that it's going to be the 31st pick in the draft, the first pick in the second round. Yeah, this is all on the table. We can talk about what happened last night in Detroit. We can talk about what happened in Mississauga yesterday. We can talk about the trade. It's all on the table, y'all. This is the reaction stream, ultimate reaction stream, reacting to everything about yesterday. Yeah. And don't worry, y'all. I may be wearing the purple right now, but I am wearing the Toronto hat. And we are on the loser wall, the losing wall, not the loser wall. This is the wall I like to show when we lost because I like to show the three guys behind me, Muggsy, Alvin, and JYD, and they each signify something you need to win. And Muggsy's heart over height, and JYD's hustle, and then this man's clutch. And those are the different things you need to win. So that's why I'm on this wall. So yeah, let's get into it. Whatever y'all want to start with talking about, we'll see what you want to say. All right, Trevor Jay's first in. Commissioner Jay, good morning to you. I appreciate you and all the work you do and all the help and nice things you do for this channel. I appreciate you so much, Trevor, and Happy New Year's. It is New Year's Eve, and tomorrow we will be switching over to a new feel to the channel in a couple ways. We're going to have new players coming in, hopefully, to play tomorrow for us against Cleveland, RJ and Emmanuel. And also, I'll be hooking up the brand new microphone that I got for Christmas. So there'll be some production upgrade as of tomorrow for 2024. So yeah, it also, I want to say happy birthday to Naco the Nacho. It is Naco the Nacho's birthday today. His birthday is New Year's Eve, y'all. So happy birthday, Gerald. I hope that you're having a great morning so far. And I hope it's just a great birthday, man. And once again, I want also, man, this is also the day that my good friend Donish died. And I'm always thinking of you, Donish, even 6 years after your death today. And New Year's Eve will never, ever be the same because of your passing on New Year's, Donish. Rest in peace. I love you, man. I'm still thinking about you every day. All right, let's keep going. All right, let's see. Trevor's saying, good morning, Raptors. Family, happy Raptors family. Happy Sunday. Yeah, happy Sunday to you, Trevor. I appreciate you. Lots of good Raptor fans at the Detroit game last night. We really travel well, but it was what it was. I've got all kinds of interesting takes about the Detroit game yesterday. And, listen, this is not a shameful thing. This is a humanitarian thing the Raptors did yesterday. The Detroit Pistons were in a bad place. And, we're not doing that great either. But in some ways, we need to look out for them. Scotty's best friends with Cade. Darko's best friends with Monty. Dwayne Casey works for that team. And in some ways, the feelings about how they were doing were awful. But, Masai and Bobby were smart. They did, as somebody put it on Twitter, 4D chess. And this is exactly what it is. It's like, we could lose against the Pistons and end their streak on Saturday. Well, that's horrible. The fan base is going to go crazy. In fact, they've already been saying that if we lose on Saturday, they're going to be calling for our heads, the front office. And I was like, you know what? Let's pull that trigger. Let's get that deal done. I know that yesterday was a deadline day for Siakam. And in some ways, maybe it was another kind of deadline day in a couple ways for the Raptors too. And that's why they did the deal yesterday before. Some of you guys have been asking, why did they do the deal before the game? So we couldn't play OG in the game. I get that kind of thinking. But you got to think about this in a winner's kind of way. This deal is huge. It's very enthusiastic building in the Raptors fan nation. I'm very excited about it. I think it's amazing. And I think there's going to be some very interesting things that are going to happen because of this deal. In fact, yesterday in the game against Detroit may be the bottom of the pit. We may hit the lowest of the lows. And now it's all coming up now, baby. That's what I have the feeling of. So listen, this is the thing. They were so smart. They made this deal before this game. In some ways, the deal overshadows the game. Nobody's ever going to remember this game. They're going to remember this game for a couple more days, and then nobody's going to give a shit about this game because in some ways, the record didn't happen. That's one thing that we got to say. Some ways, the record didn't happen. And if y'all are so upset about losing to Detroit, well, how about I tell you this? because we lost to Detroit last night. Philadelphia continues to hold that record with Detroit. And as a hater of the Sixers nation, I am all for that. That in some ways, losing that one game that's meaningless, that we're already losing a bunch, and we didn't have 3 of our rotation players, and we just made a trade, and we're on the second night of a back-to-back after traveling from Boston to Detroit, and we got into Detroit at 3 a.m. in the morning. God forbid, oh my gosh, we lose the Pistons and we break their streak. It's just bullshit, artists, building it up bigger than it is. In some ways, the Pistons were a dangerous thing for a lot of teams in this league. We took that bullet. We're like that boy, that best friend that jumps on the grenade for the other people. Yeah, that's right. That's what happened. We did that, and you know what? I'm proud of it. I'm proud for the people of Detroit. I'm happy to help ease your suffering. I'm happy to help Coach Monty Williams, who get a little bit of happiness and sunshine, and the smiles and the cheesing that was going on between him and Cade Cunningham and Monty Williams after the game is good. In some ways, we just need to be humanitarian. See, it's the season of giving and looking out. So there's a little handout, Detroit. Get yourself out of the mud for a second. Yeah. In some ways, yeah, we would have loved to beat them. We should have. We damn for sure should have beat them. If we were the right Raptors, we were in a winning ways right now. Yeah, we would beat them. But we're in a bad place. We're still figuring things out. And we've got issues. And in some ways, this is just meant to be. But a masterful move by Bobby Webster and Masai Ujiri earlier in the day at noon can overshadow all of this. And in some ways, that day is going to be known as the OG trade day and the RJ coming to Toronto day. And it won't be really remembered for that stupid game in Detroit. I mean, if you really think about it, that's not something that's going to go on forward in history. Sure, people will remind us, that day you went and you made the trade, that's the day that y'all lost the Pistons after they had lost 28 games in a row. It's like, sure, okay, who cares? Who cares? And some of y'all Raptors fans are trying to say that this is just as big as Kobe's 81 on us. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. This is going to go away. Nobody's going to remember this because Kobe's 81 is easy to remember. That's a huge accomplishment, and people will look at that over and over again. But this, nobody's going to worry about this. In like a month from now, haters will bring it up and they'll put it in our face, but who cares? We have all the good excuses in the world for why we're losing right now. And in some ways, our standard of what we're doing right now is just to us and our development and our new coach and what we're trying to do with Scotty Wayne Barnes is the center of our franchise. So it has nothing to do with anybody else. It's just like in your own life. You have your own personal progress. In some ways, you're not being measured by other people. You should be on your own progress schedule for yourself. And if other people are trying to judge you for how far along you should be, they should fuck off, is what I have to say about that. So this is a deep thing that happened yesterday. It's 4D chess, as somebody said on Twitter. Make the deal before the game, and the game won't even fucking matter if we win or lose. And it's true. It's true. Well, we lost it. There you go. There's your handout. There's the season of giving. There you go, Monty Williams. You guys fought hard, and you earned this win. I'm not saying we gave it to you, but in some ways, look, you needed help, and Toronto helped you out. And you know what? I'm not mad about that. In some ways, the joy that they had, and after finally not losing, finally since October, y'all, it was a big deal. So in some ways, we alleviated people's pain by taking another L. What's the matter? We've got 20 L's. We got 12 wins. We got 20 L's. Who cares? This is just how this season is right now. In some ways, we get one more L and we help the Pistons out. Who cares? We're nice guys. We do something nice for them. This team's changing. We're going to go over this trade. I'm going to talk about every facet of what I see about this whole trade and what's to come. And I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about this trade. I know that some other people are excited. We had Logical Raptors fanatic come and comment on my reaction yesterday. So I hope you're back, Mike. I hope you're back. I hope you're back and you'll join us from time to time. You don't have to be every day. But, man, I really do value you, and I miss you, Mike. I want you back in the stream, at least on a semi-regular basis. If you can, man, that'd be awesome. Jillian saying good morning to Trevor. Good morning to you, Jillian. Jillian was freaking out yesterday, having a hard time dealing with everything because the trade happened. There's a lot of emotions around OG leaving. Adriana came over yesterday to hang out with me for New Year's Eve, and she's taking it really hard. She didn't like this idea that OG's gone. Stevie Roots is upset. He's got the OG jersey himself, and I had to break the news to him yesterday, and I was like telling him, but RJ's coming. It's OG for RJ, He's like, oh, really? RJ Barrett from Toronto? Yeah, man. That's right. We're getting RJ to come home. And that's a very special thing. It really, really is. Getting RJ Barrett in a Raptors jersey is just something that, in some ways, we talked about in the last couple of years as being a dream. Well, the dream is true. And that's what I'll say. Bobby Webster just makes dreams come true. That's right. Bobby Webster makes dreams come true. And RJ Barrett is a Raptor as of yesterday. So that's what I have to say. Yeah. Jillian saying, I was commenting above that the reason OG has been acting so oddly for months is because he'd already moved on spiritually from the Raptors after obtaining his New York friendly agent. Well, Grange is reporting that this deal has been in the works pretty much since we played in New York the last time, and that it was all kind of out in the open to some of the guys. I mean, there were tells. There were ways that OG had kind of de-leveled in the way he's playing, how active and how much he cared. And then also Malachi and Precious were acting really goofy in the last week or so. Like they may have knew already also too. In fact, in the game on Friday night against the Celtics, they were caught on the camera on the bench joking with each other and pushing each other around and kind of laughing with each other. Precious and Malachi specifically. Now, this is great. I mean, I knew about OG going there, and then I found out Precious was part of it, and I was a little sad about Precious. Obviously, y'all know how much I am a Precious stan, and I still do believe Precious is going to have a fourth-year jump, and the Knicks may get to enjoy it, which is too bad. But in some ways, I could see he had to be part of this deal. But when I heard that Flynn was in the deal also, woo, I got giddy. I was like, yes, yes. Oh, hallelujah, hallelujah. Malachi Flynn is on the Knicks. Woo, woo, woo. I was pretty giddy. And that's no slight to him. It's just, listen, I tell you, in the last 2 years, I've wondered, could they even move Malachi? Does he have any value in this league? Like, seriously, does anybody see any value in him? I'm like, I love if they could trade Malachi. I'm like, man, but could they? Could they even do it? It's a similar thing to like 10 years ago when we're saying, could they trade Andrea Bargnani? Could they trade him? I mean, could they even do it? Yeah, they can do it. And they can do it both times with New York Knicks, which is amazing to me. Like, seriously, everybody's wondering about this trade. Like, who won the trade? Who won the trade? New York or Toronto? New York or Toronto? And it's funny, all the takes, the non-Raptor takes, the non-Knicks takes, the NBA takes, the Knicks takes, the Raptors takes. Everybody has different takes on this trade. And it's funny. I think overwhelmingly, most people think the Raptors won this trade. And, I can get it. I mean, this is the way I would suss it out. We're getting 2 players. They're getting 3. Now, 2 players that we're getting are 2 good players that are very capable, and they play already a good high level. They're already very good shooters, and they're also both very good offensively. That's the interesting thing about this. Emmanuel Quickley is a dream for us. It's like MSJ was saying in the chat last night. He was wanting a guard all week, and well, you got your wish. It's like a late Christmas gift to you, Chris. That we get that perfect guard that we wanted, Emmanuel Quickley, IQ. And man, he's like a Tyrese Maxey. He's maybe the closest thing to Tyrese Maxey in this league right now. And I'm so excited to see him show up. I think that Barrett and Quickley probably will start for us right away. I mean, that shaky guard spot next to Scotty is, it's been kind of between Dennis and Gary so far. But Gary's he played really good yesterday. But that was the first really good game he's had all season. And then, Dennis, I think he does look much better off the bench, helping us off the bench. And he did a good job off the bench once again yesterday also. I think that Quickley should start. I think he should start and RJ should start. So it should be Scotty, Pascal, Jakob, Quickley, and RJ being our new starters as of tomorrow. In some ways, it'll help RJ acclimate to playing with the Raptors, to have a known teammate with him in the starting lineup and vice versa. That would be a very, very good thing. But I'm very excited about the new guard defense that we may possibly be able to have, having Gary, Dennis, and Emmanuel run around. In some ways, we're going to see Emmanuel and Dennis lineups, and they're going to be very pestering. They're going to be very, very pestering. It's going to be fun. The other thing I love is that Emmanuel Quickley's three-point shot is very good. In fact, he's going to bring really good shooting. And for the most part, I hope RJ will too. Now, my work watching the FIBA this summer, I got it pretty well known with RJ Barrett, at least in the FIBA setting. And there were a lot of the stuff he was doing in mid-range. He was even doing a lot of post work where he's just bully balling down low. There's a lot of cool stuff that RJ does. I'm going to be very interested to see how he fits in with our guys. Because in some ways he's going to be the third banana. It's still Siakam and Barnes' show. And in some ways, Barrett won't have so much pressure on him to score so much. It's a similar kind of thing to how he was with Randall and Brunson, but we'll have to see how it fits. And man, the other thing about Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett is these guys are both very like clutch oriented. We saw RJ hit big shots this summer for Team Canada. I know Emmanuel Quickley's got dog in him. This is one of the things I love about this is that some of the fierceness and dog is in both of these guys coming. RJ shows emotion and passion in his game. He will get out there and be like, whoa, and he will do stuff in games very determined to try and win. And we need this in our team very badly. And if he could rub this off on Scott and Pascal, that would be great. Pascal showing it last night in the third quarter for sure, getting 20 points. But Scott really didn't turn it on until the fourth quarter, until it was too late. Scotty, we see what you can do in the lane. You do it right at the end when you're scared about losing. Why don't you do it earlier and establish it right away? Everything near the basket that you did in the last 5 minutes of the game last night, you can do it in the first quarter, man. All right, so getting back to the trade. We're getting two good players, and they're getting one great player and two players. And that's interesting to me because there's three going towards them and two coming to us. And that means there's another end of the deal that still has to happen. Bobby Webster's got to fill the open roster spot. And that could mean two things. It could mean he's going to convert one of the two ways like Jonte Porter, or he just brings in a brand new, completely new name that we just out of the woodworks and brings to our team. Now, I think that with the size problems right now, and I see that somebody in the comments already brought it up, that we're probably going to get a big man. It'd be good for us to get another big man, especially with Koloko still on the shelf. But that's an interesting aspect of it. We still have one more player to figure out who's coming in the Raptors, whether it be Jonte Porter converted from a two-way, and then we get another two-way, or a whole new player that we have no idea is going to show up in a Raptors jersey very soon and be the third fill-in roster person for the three going away. Now, they dropped somebody in New York already, Daquan Jeffries, to make room for Malachi Flynn on their roster. It's going to be fun, too. Like, listen, we consolidated in some ways. We got three players gone. In some ways, we got rid of two guys that have been really kind of troublesome with our team. I didn't think Precious was a problem, but I see where New York would want him. Precious is from New York. So in some ways, it's very much like RJ coming back to Toronto is Precious going back to New York. So that's a nice thing for Precious. But in some ways, it's like, look, they're going to find out about Malachi in New York. I wonder about these guys in the New York press. Like OG's going to be hilarious in interviews with the New York reporters. Malachi, how long is it going to take until the Knicks nation absolutely hates him? I'm really wondering about this. Seriously, it's going to be very interesting. In some ways, that's the popcorn I'm starting to eat. It's like, let's see what these guys do on the Knicks and their ecosystem in some ways. I wish all the best to OG Anunoby. I love you, OG. And you will always be a Raptors alumni and legend. You're leaving in good standing. You do not go in the category of Vince Carter, Chris Bosh. You go in the category of Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, and Fred VanVleet. And that's what I'm saying. You're going to be loved forever. And I will stand up for your good name forever on this channel, OG. We love you. Your time served with the Raptors, and you are an NBA champion with the Toronto Raptors. You had a lot of good things happen here in your career, and we will always celebrate you and honor you. And when you come back with the Knicks to play against us in our home arena, we will definitely give you a hero's welcome back. So that's how I feel about OG. It is sad to say goodbye to this, but that for the last month or so, I've been talking about OG's the one who's going to get traded. OG's the one who's get traded, and it's crazy. We almost got this trade exactly right this week. We said this trade on this channel on Wednesday of last week, 3 days before the trade happened, that it was going to be OG going to New York for Emmanuel Quickley and possibly RJ Barrett. Those were the names we uttered. I said, RJ, if I'll do it quickly. It was Milbester bringing it up. Would you want Emmanuel Quickley? And we say, yeah, we take Emmanuel Quickley, but you better throw in RJ too. And boom, they must have been listening because they made it reality. It's crazy how we don't ever talk trade talk here, and we managed to get the first big, huge, major Toronto trade right in this channel in the last week. We don't do trade talk here, but when we do, we get it right. So if you want to watch this channel and you want to know about the Raptors, see, like I got something for y'all right here, exclusive scoop. You ain't going to hear this on Sportsnet. You ain't going to hear this on TSN. You ain't going to hear this in the Toronto Star. You ain't going to hear it anywhere on any major mainstream media. Jonte Porter has COVID right now. Yeah. Yeah, Jonte has COVID, and that is why he is not anywhere right now. He is he's positive right now. They're going to tell you this. I know this because I know Tom. Tom is a family friend of the Porter family, and he told me yesterday in the 905 chat. See, I have sources, and I find out shit better than Grange sometimes. That's right. That's right. That's why he's not playing, is because of that. So that's why he wasn't at 905, and that's why he didn't show up for us in Pistons, because it's just the unfortunate timing that Jonte contracted COVID in the week that we make a big trade, and we probably would have elevated him up to the main squad. It's too bad. It's bad timing. Get well fast, young man, because I do want you to claim a roster spot on the Raptors. I think that you'd be a fantastic step in for Precious Achiuwa going to New York. But yeah, I'd like to see that. So yeah, lots of good stuff with this trade. If you guys want to talk about it any deeper and anything you want to say about your perception of it, definitely put it in the chat. This is a reaction stream, and it's not just me reacting. I want y'all to react to everything from yesterday and tell me how you feel about it. Tell me how you feel about it. Yeah, let's go. All right, Trevor's saying good morning to Jillian. Yes, good morning, and she's smiling. How are you? And Trevor's words of wisdom are to live this life. You do not always get what you want. Sometimes you lose some, sometimes you get some. But life moves on, so you have to move on. Yeah, there you go. Like, that's just how it is. This is a learning experience. This is a learning year. Raptors fans, this is a learning year for the team, for Coach Darko, for Scotty, for you guys, all y'all as fans. You got to learn about different modes of teams. If you just showed up with the championship year and you saw how nice and rosy everything was, lots of winning, ooh, we're a good team, we kick ass, we're top of the East all the time. Yeah, well, you're learning. There's different levels of being in the NBA. And in some ways, we're not the worst level, although we did lose the worst level last night. But you know what? We are somewhere in there, and we're near the bottom in some ways. So in some ways, we got to take it out as it is. Hopefully, this is the thing I'm hoping. Quickly and Barrett show up tomorrow with a winning attitude and a style that says we are not going to lose. We're going to kick some ass. We're going to win, because that's really what it is. Dennis in the game after last night in his press conference was illuminating with his after game press conference. He said a lot of really heavy shit, very wide open about what's going on with his team. And he basically said, I'm going to tell you right now, he didn't say Scott specifically, but I know he's talking about Scott. We need to take winning more seriously and do the little things that win. It's not just about scoring. We have to figure out how to win as a team and be there together with each other and playing off each other to add up to winning. He said that on this summer in FIBA for Team Germany, I had my back. They had my back. We all had each other's back, and we took care of each other. And the way it was on that team, we had trust in each other. And that's part of the reason why we were so successful. Now, we were together for 10 years to build that trust, and we're not there yet with this team. In some ways, it's a connection thing. And in some ways, some of the people on the Raptors team are not connecting with each other on the right level to be teammates and play winning basketball. And this is something that we need to rectify. If anybody's trying to be antisocial, if anybody's trying to be like standoffish with certain people because personalities don't totally get along, we need to figure this out. It's okay to not get along like totally in real life. You don't have to be best friends. You don't have to play video games with each other. You don't have to sit next to each other on the bus. No, you don't have to do any of that. You just got to be able to get along on the court. And that's the most important thing. There's been many, 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 many great successful combinations in the NBA over the history of it. The players absolutely hated each other behind the scenes. But when they were on the court, they were ultimate teammates, and they played with each other, and they kicked ass together. You couldn't even tell that these guys hated each other when you saw them play on the court. That's what y'all need to get to, Raptors. If there's anybody who doesn't necessarily exactly like each other on this team, well, you need to get over yourselves and just play for each other, one for all for one on the court. Because when you put those Raptors jerseys on, you're all for one for all. You're a team. And all the individual egos and all the other bullshit that may be happening and behind the scenes or anything like that, yeah, it needs to get put on the shelf, because this is what it is. You're in one way, you're a unit, and you're supposed to work together in syncopation with each other. And this is something that these guys got to do. Dennis alluding to the fact that, we have a pampered life. We have people that bring us our shoes. They take care of us. They do this and do that. Don't get a big head. Stay grounded and stay humanistic. and don't feel like you're some sort of above everybody kind of headspace. That's what he was kind of describing yesterday. That there may be some people on our team that are kind of elevating themselves over everybody in this world. Yeah, in some ways that's not healthy. In some ways that's good on the court because that means you may go above and beyond and get into Michael Jordan kind of ego headspace. I'm okay with that if it's on the court, but not off the court. You should all everybody should be trying to be kind of like uh humble and grounded and full of gratitude and together and connected. So if there's anybody who's kind of getting a big head outside the court and around the team, they need to stop. They need to stop right now because you can talk about being a great teammate and loving to be with your teammates and being around your teammates. But if it's not fucking true and it's lip service, yeah, that ain't no good. You need to fucking do it. If you're going to say you are and you're like that, you better do it in real life and actually mean it. Walk the walk if you're going to talk the talk is what I'm going to say right now. All right, let's see. Trevor's saying he's good. Dennis' interview was very interesting with his comments. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right now. Trevor, really, really interesting. Really interesting. The best I have seen Gary shoot 4 threes was last night against Detroit. All right, let's do the 3 stars of the game since we lost. It's really sad that we lost. Siakam, my first star of the game. He was fantastic, man. That 20 point third quarter was absolutely fantastic. You know, the Raptors scored 83 points in the second half last night. And man, it's still crazy they still lost. You know, Detroit was just wheeling and dealing for most of the game. We had to come back from the being down, and it's just too late, too little, too late. You know, the execution in certain points, like they were down by 9 with 6 minutes to go. And I'm like, you know what? They could win this. They do this right. They get the right stops. They can win this still, but it's just they don't get the stops. And then there's not execution on offense also at the same time. So that's not trying to win in the right way because you're not executing. You know, there's poor decisions in where you're taking the shots at the end of the game also. Settling for threes when you probably should be going inside, all that kind of stuff. So let's start. Siakam, 14 and 24 from the field. Siakam has been playing at such a high level. You know, we didn't hear any extension news yesterday about his contract. So what are you doing? Oh, you did get an order. I thought you didn't tell me that you were getting an order. Sorry. You gotta communicate. Seriously, I'm just interviewed me. You're interrupting me. Adriana's doing something right now. I don't even know what she's doing. She got a breakfast order from DoorDash or something. All right, let's see. 35 points for Siakam in 40 minutes. That's great points per minute production. 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, 5 fouls, a -5. Siakam was just being the man. And in some ways, it was really in the third. I wish it was more in the fourth also and more in the first half. But I can't get mad at him. He carried for a good part of the game. And he did a good lot of stuff that he was supposed to do as a superstar for this team. My second star of the game is Schroeder. I really like Schroeder's stat line. I know some people are mad at Schroeder for shooting a lot last night. I know people are saying that he shouldn't have been doing so much and Barnes and Siakam should have done more. But that's BS. And I'll tell you why. Because Anunoby left and we needed somebody to step up and fill in some of the stuff that Anunoby does. You know, for us, he's been the third scorer. We've had great games where he's gotten 20 points and he's really helped. So in some ways, both Gary and Dennis had the assignment of trying to step up and that fill in that gap. And that's all Dennis was doing. In fact, it's important that he was aggressive like that. You know, you look at Dennis being aggressive the way he was with his scoring last night. I wish Scotty would be aggressive like him. Seriously, there's all too often, and I don't know if this is Darko's set or what it is or what it is, but Scotty's standing in the corner waiting for the ball or just to get maybe possibly a kick to 3 to him in the corner. And it's like, dude, integrate yourself, make yourself a big target and go get the ball, demand it from them and get it from them so that you are not waiting around or looking like wallpaper on the side of the court. So that's part of what's problem. What do you do? Okay. Yeah, she's just being a distraction for a second.
I'm sorry.
All right. Go on now. I don't know. I'm trying. She knows I'm in here doing this. I don't know what she's doing. All right. Anyway, I just wish Scotty, like in some ways, be more like Dennis. If y'all are worried about Dennis being pushy and going and taking more shots than he should take, well, Scotty should be being like Dennis. So it's annoying. It's annoying. In some ways, it's really annoying. Dennis was 8 for 16, 50% from. Oh wait, that's scary. 11 for 18. He actually was better than 50%. 3 of 6 from three, 5 for 5 at the free throw line, perfect at the line, 9 assists, 1 turnover. So he's got 18 assists with 1 turnover in 2 games, in these 2 back-to-back games. Absolutely fantastic play by Dennis. 30 points in 37 minutes. Nah, somebody had to step up and carry with OG gone, and Dennis stepped up and took that role. And I am not hating on that. In some ways, people say, "Oh, Dennis is shooting too much. Dennis is shooting too much." No, we need him to be aggressive. He's a good scorer, and in some ways, we need him in the way we're going now, because we're going away from being more defensive oriented to being offensive. This is a big part of this move on the download too. Is we just traded 2 of our best defenders to get 2 better offensive players. And one of the things we've had a problem with is keeping up scoring with most of the teams in the league. Well, RJ and Emmanuel are going to help with this, and we need that help. In some ways, the defensive stuff is going to have to happen in the new league that doesn't like defense. We're going to have to figure out how to get stops and play defense either way. And this is good. We got more offensive firepower coming because of the trade from yesterday. And we needed that, and vice versa. The New York team needed more defense, a guy like OG. So this trade does help both teams, but I think it's going to help us more than them in the long run, because I think RJ is really, really a good player. And in some ways, him and OG are equal. They really are equal. And then I would take Quickly over having those other 2 guys. I mean, Quickly is such a good upgrade over Malachi. Now, losing Precious sucks, but that was just part of the deal. It had to happen. So I'm excited about this. The Raptors are going to have more offensive firepower starting tomorrow, and I'm excited about it. We needed it. Now, Dennis needed to fill in the gap yesterday. Now, my third star of the game is Trent Jr. Trent Jr. was absolutely had his best game of the year. 8 of 16 from the field, 6 of 9 from three. That's beautiful, Gary. If you could just do that every night, that would be so fantastic. 2 of 2 from the free throw line, so no shaving points at the free throw line. 1 rebound, 4 assists, 4 steals. Those steals were fun. He was getting deflections that didn't turn into steals also. So he kind of got more than 4 steals. It's just that they didn't fully turn into a turnover. 1 block, +4, 24 points in 39 minutes. Yeah, those are my 3 stars: Siakam, Schroeder, and Dennis. I would put Scotty in there, but in some ways, Scotty is disappearing for big chunks of the game and not taking the ball and scoring himself. Y'all can say they're freezing him out, but that's bullshit. Scotty needs to be more alpha and more aggressive and say, "I want the ball. I want the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball." They're not freezing him out. He should be getting involved and getting more oriented. Darko, get him more into plays. And Scotty, just make yourself a bigger target and demand the ball. Please, please, Scotty. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it wasn't that Scott had a bad game. He really did have a good game, and he could have been one of my 3 stars. 8 of 20 from the field, 1 of 5 from three. He made all 5 of his free throws, just like Dennis, which is great, because the free throws do matter. We lost by 2, and we missed 5 free throws. Let's see. He had 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, and he had 22 points. Yeah, Scott just got going too late. Too late in the game. You saw what he did late in the lane. And I'm like, that guy can do that at any time in the game. He just needs to go in there and battle. You know, one thing that Scott did last night that I did not like at all was in the first half, he got on Tyler Ford, yelling at him because he wanted fouls. He's whining for fouls, and he was getting out and distracted and not paying attention to the game. He's yelling at him at one moment in the game. He's like, "Give me the foul. Give me the foul." I'm like, don't yell at Tyler Ford like that. Oh my gosh, Scott, you got to understand, Tyler Ford's our friend. Tyler Ford is our friend. In fact, I'm ready to declare Tyler Ford the most legit, honorable, best referee in the NBA right now. Yeah. Yeah. I know that's a big, heavy designation and thing to say about a referee, but I believe it. This guy's a young hotshot. He is loved by the NBA. He is like one of the top NBA refs inside. They think that he's a hotshot, and he's really good. Like, did you see how when he did the first time when he had to go watch cartoons, how quick he was? And Jack Armstrong said, "Wow, he was really quick on reviewing that and came back." That's because he's listening and he understands the refs are taking too long over there. He expedited stuff over there. And then the other thing is, look, he's right down the line. He is somebody I totally trust. And the other thing that I want to tell Scott right now is Tyler Ford's record with us is the best out of all 30 teams in the NBA. He has the highest winning percentage of all the NBA teams: Lakers, Nuggets, Celtics. It doesn't matter whatever team. The team that has won the most under him is the Raptors. So we got to respect him, Scott. You can't be dogging at him for petty little foul calls. The problem there is that you shouldn't be defending on him to bail you out. with the call. That's the problem right there. If you're a man, you go in there and you make the shot regardless of the whistle. And that's all I care about. You need to take the contact and finish through it and not even worry if he calls the whistle or not. This is the NBA. And seriously, the trend right now is these guys are letting them play. And there's a lot of physicality at both ends of the court that nobody's calling. So don't be the whiny baby trying to get the call. Nobody's getting calls either side because it's just a bad look. The look and the way you should be doing it is, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to go through this defender and I'm going to score and put the ball through the hoop no matter what. I'm not going to depend on a bailout from a whistle like Joel Embiid. I'm not going to depend on being a free throw merchant like James Harden. No, I am going to go and make that shot through the contact. And I'm not going to worry about whether Tyler Ford blows a whistle or not. I'm going to take my life into my own hands and create my own destiny. You're good enough to do this, Scott. There's no reason for you to play soft and worry about Tyler Ford putting you on the line. You make the shot through the contact. That's when you will elevate your game to another whole level, is when you get past trying to play for calls and just make the shot, because it doesn't look good. And honestly, seriously, Tyler Ford is our friend. You don't need to be dogging him out. You don't want him on our bad side. Seriously. He's our friend. He's a good ref, a very good ref crew last night. Once again, 2 nights in a row, we have an exemplary ref crew that is catering to the Raptors and looking out for us, and we still can't manage to win 2 close games. And it's really because we don't know how to win close games right now. We don't have the treasure map. We don't have the ability to understand this is what it takes to win the NBA. You have to do this much, and it has to be for this much of the 48 minutes in this kind of way. You're just trying to cheese it. You're trying to fudge it. You're trying to cram at the last minute for the finals. Nah, you need to study the whole semester. You need to do all the early quizzes and grades and all that stuff to get to the final test and pass it. You can't try and do it all at the last second and try and think you're going to be successful. That's what this Raptors team has been doing the last 2 years, putting all these 10-point leads on other people and then trying to come back. Nah, dog, you need to come prepared. You need to do the pre-work. You need to come in and do the whole everything right. Everything matters, and then it will add up to more wins. That's what it is right there. Is y'all are slacking, and then you're trying to make it up because you're supremely talented, and it's not working right now. It may have worked last year in some of the ways because of Nick Nurse's system, but it's not working this year. Y'all ain't getting clicking to the certain way to make up the ground that you lose every single game and try and win against a 10-point double-digit lead. Every single fucking game you give the other team double-digit lead. Yeah, you guys need to be professional more throughout the game and taking care of it. Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. I'm going to get back in the comments. Yeah, those are my 3 stars. We'll go over some more of the other players from the game last night on both sides. Let's see. Trevor's saying this is the best I've seen Gary shoot 4 threes was last night against Detroit. Yeah, Gary was looking good. I was really happy about this. Maybe in some ways, things opened up for him. It was an interesting look having him and Dennis in the starting lineup. It wasn't horrible. In some ways we didn't start very well in some ways, but whatever. The Pistons were very hungry and they really did need to win. And they have certain guys that are hitting their shot right now. And that's part of the reason why they're doing better. Jillian saying, yes, Blackhawk wants to get rid of him now. I do find it odd that he would state this despite his previous successes. Gary was so good last night. I keep telling people that it was just 1 possession loss. Yeah, you were saying last night that Neil was in spaces going off about Dennis. Listen, I don't know what Neil was saying. And, he'd have to come in here and espouse it to me specifically for me to comment with him exactly what he's saying. Now, I'm going to stand up for Dennis, of course. And in some ways, once again, I'll say the reason why Dennis was doing what he's doing is because OG's gone all of a sudden. Precious is gone. Some of these guys step up and do some scoring because these guys are gone. And, well, Dennis more than happy to take that and try and do that for us. I'd much rather have Dennis aggressive in trying to do that than nobody doing it and being like half-assed and everybody kind of being passive. Yeah, no, we needed Dennis to step up and shoot a lot of shots last night because honestly, no, it could possibly have been what I just said, where nobody else would step up and do anything. So I'm glad Dennis took it in his own hands and did something. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Gary was good. 1 possession loss. Yeah, it's a little bit more than that what happened last night. I mean, there's a lot of stupidity about last night's game. But in some ways, I'm going to wipe my brain of it. And it's just another loss. It could be just like any other loss we've gotten this season, not just because of a streak that ended or anything like that. I don't give a shit about that. That's Detroit shit. We have our own shit to worry about, and we need to fix our team. And hopefully, it'll look way better with a new look tomorrow. We'll have to see. Julian saying, I was distracted the entire game due to the events of the day. Well, everybody was. Siakam very, very open and honest about how the trade affected the team in his interview after the game, which is not posted. Y'all will not see it. You had to have seen it live when he did it. And he basically said that some of the younger players on our team were very affected by the trade. It shook them. And I'm speculating who was shook by this trade the most. Now, maybe it was Scotty. We know Scotty is very, very close with OG. And he has close ties with Precious and Malachi too. And Dennis said that he was like close to them in his interview. That Scotty was very close to them. And then I was starting to think, well, Siakam saying that it's the first time some of these guys have gone through this. I'm like, well, Scotty kind of went through Delano getting traded or leaving, or Justin leaving, or maybe he didn't really get it this way because it's in the middle of the season and it's so abrupt. So maybe he is talking about Scott. That Scotty did get strongly affected emotionally by this trade yesterday. Is he talking about Grady? Is Grady affected by it? I mean, he's the newest guy. This is obviously the first time he's ever seen a trade like this. Is he talking about Koloko? I don't know. Those are the three guys I would think that it would be the most likely to be emotionally affected by a trade the first time because they're the youngest ones. And they're the ones that have not been in the NBA as long. As Gary's been around trades, it's not a big deal to him. I don't know. I can only speculate. And I feel like that's what Siakam was saying, that Scotty and Koloko and Grady took the trade hard. I think it's Scotty. I think it's Scotty that took the trade hard is who he's talking about. But yeah, I wish that they had shown y'all the Siakam interview. Very interesting. He said this. He said, my partnership with OG over the years has been fantastic. He's a fantastic human being. I love him. And I wish him all the best success going forward. He's my guy. That's what Siakam said about OG. So any of these rumors of them not being cool or liking each other is bullshit. It's like the way that Siakam talked about Anunoby after the game last night was glowing. And he said he's an incredible human being. That is what Pascal said. So, yeah, there's no problem there. Let's see. Trevor's saying Raptors put Malachi in a deal like buy 2-1, get one free. Trevor, I want to give you a dunk for that. I seriously do. All right, where's my dunk sheet? Where's my dunk sheet? Now, this is the cool thing. It's consolidating, from 3 guys to 2 and making better talent into roster spots. Now, Bobby can go and get a really good third player in the replacement of all this. This could be a very good thing. So, man, I'm excited about this deal. In some ways, forget about yesterday. It's the past now. We got a future to look forward to. We got things to look forward to with this Raptors team and changing it. And in some ways, this is the first kind of deal done with Darko in mind and Scotty in mind. And this will be interesting to see if this is going in a new direction. This is a little bit less Vision 6-9, and we're going to try and change our team probably a lot over the next course of the 6 months. It's interesting that Siakam didn't have any news yesterday. So according to Michael Grange, that means that Siakam's going to be a Raptor for at least 6 more months now. That he can't get traded now that he didn't get an extension or he didn't have a trade for himself yesterday. He is not allowed to be traded until the end of the season now at this point, apparently. So Siakam's not going to be traded at this point, at least not during the season. He could be traded at the end of the year in a sign-in trade. Yeah, that's where we got to because of yesterday. Let's see. Malachi could be waived. Yeah, he could probably be waived at some point, but they're keeping him. They waived somebody else. Nako's here. Ain't losing sleep on this loss, but I wish Darko would play Grady. I would have liked to have seen Grady yesterday. I was predicting we would. They only had 10 guys, but they only played 9 in the game. Yeah, I wish that he played them. In some ways, I wish he had given him a little bit of time in that game. I don't know why he didn't. In some ways, he really should have, Nako. Let's see. Jillian's saying, wasn't he played at the end with that? No, he wasn't. Thaddeus playing our backup center yesterday, and that was interesting. Of course, we needed him to be out there. It wasn't totally horrible. It could have been a lot worse. Let's see. Jillian at Jillian from Nako. DMP coach's decision for Grady. That's right. Let's see. Jillian's saying, oh, yeah, would Malachi and Precious have had any increases in salaries or just OG? No, this is an interesting thing about the deal. All 3 of the contracts we sent to New York expire at the end of this year. In some ways, if New York doesn't like any three of those guys, they don't have to have anything to do with them after this year because they're going to be free agents. That's part of it. Like they just got three expiring contracts. We've got guys that are going to be going forward with us and quickly and Barrett because they're on bigger contracts. So in some ways, we fixed this whole like figure out this summer thing with so many guys because we've got some more long-term guys going forward, like RJ and Emmanuel. And now New York has flexibility with their summer next year because all three of those guys, Achua, Flynn, and Anunoby, are free agents next year, and they need new contracts in the summer. No, we don't have to deal with them. I was like, man, we better not have a new contract from Malachi next summer. No, we're just going to trade him. Good. Good. Oh, my gosh. That's that. Yeah. Let's see. Trevor's saying, let's put what happened all behind us and look forward to the new improved Raptors. Let's go and kick some ass now. That's right. 2024 is going to start with a new look. Captain Canada coming home. I want to see RJ play really well. I really want to see him and Scott get along really, really well. I want to see them have a great synergy. I want to see joy and happiness playing off of each other. I want to see some of the stuff that happens with Siakam and Barnes happening with Barrett, Barnes, and Siakam. I want to see all that. I want to see Emmanuel quickly come out there and show an intensity and a spirit of compete that rubs off on the other guys. Because in some ways, quickly is a dog. You know, Patrick Beverly said we don't have any dogs on our team. Well, in some ways, we got two guys that could possibly be very dog, very, very dog. Emmanuel quickly has dog in him. And that our dog factor went up. Our shooting factor went up. Our free pointers went up. Our offense went up. That's all the stuff I'm seeing from what's going to happen from this trade. And, RJ Barrett's been a lightning rod of, different things for Knicks Nation over his time with them. Some people really, really love RJ, like Ben Stiller. He was upset about RJ getting traded to us. He posted on Twitter, ugh, because I don't think he liked the deal at being a Knicks fan. And then, quickly, there's a lot to him. There's X factors with him. In some ways, he is a really, really good player. Really, really good player. And I'm excited about it. We're going to have to see what they bring tomorrow. All right, let's keep going. Jillian saying, Nako, sorry, was distracted the entire game. Really hated Masai's timing, but also not concerned about the game. Pistons are still 3-29. Raptors will never be this. Don't say that. Jillian, don't say that. Anything's possible. We're not going to be 3-29 this year. But I'm telling you, anything's possible. You do not know what could happen in the future. So, yeah, I hope that never happens to us. I hope it never, ever happens to us. I think the timing was calculated, and I had no problem with it. I'm sure, this is one game. Who cares? But in some ways, this is their way of calling a mulligan and saying, look, we got all the excuses in the world why we lost to the Pistons and allowed them to end their streak. In some ways, in some ways, it's easy. I don't want to be a team that makes excuses for why we lose all the time. But in some ways, we are that team right now this year. In some ways, for me to do damage control on this channel and be a positive Raptors fan, well, I'm going to make excuses. That may rub some people the wrong way, but it is true. We played against the Boston Celtics, the top team in the East, on Friday night, played a hard game, was very close, got on a plane, and it got to Detroit at 3 a.m., the night before this game yesterday. And then not even the game was at 6 p.m. yesterday. So it was an hour earlier than our regular start time. And so there's all kinds of reasons. Then we had three of our main players gone before the game. And the guys in the trade coming in, no, there's a real easy out on this in all kinds of different ways, Jillian. It's just one game. Masai and Bobby are smart that they did it during the day. I know it distracted people and frazzled them, but that was part of what they wanted to do, was kind of give Raptors Nation something new to think about and keep their mind off of possibility of a real calamity happening in Detroit in the game, which happened. It's brilliant, honestly. That's my front office is what I'm saying. I'm not mad at them for that. That's really smart that they did the trade in the morning. I mean, you could say, yeah, why didn't they wait and let OG play? But you've seen how OG's been playing the last week or so. He's turned off. He's not really adding a whole lot. And I wouldn't trust Precious and Malachi at this point, especially if they knew they were going to get traded very soon in some ways. Let's see. Kevin Thompson's here. Good to see Kevin Thompson. Great trade yesterday. We got 2 shot creators and starter level players for one. We can always target 3 and D with the Detroit pick this year. Masai did good with this one. See, there you go. Kevin Thompson noticing The front office did it again. I talk about Bobby Webster needs to be the scapegoat if we're going to fire anyone. Maybe they were worried. Well, Raptors Freak is talking about, well, Bobby, you're the one who should go if we're in trouble. And like a lot of people were saying all week that we lose the Pistons, they need to fire our front office. This is a smart way for the front office to do a diversion and keep them off their backs. Make this huge OG deal finally after years and years of speculation of this. Catch everybody off guard, hit them with a Woj bomb at noon yesterday, and everybody for the rest of the day, that's going to be really what they're going to think about, whether Detroit beats us or not. Brilliant. It's almost like they killed like 5 birds with one stone doing this deal. They really did. They got rid of Malachi. They got rid of Precious, which a lot of people wanted that to happen to, not me. And OG finally got traded, and his contract is something that we're not going to be able to manage properly, probably in the next year. All the people that got mad about Fred leaving for nothing, well, they're not going to worry about OG doing this. And they can see actually that the front office will do stuff like this, that they will make a trade. And then you got the bonus of Canada's guy coming back, RJ Barrett. We get a prominent player on our team, a top player on our team that's very, very much Canadian. And people worry about the speculation. Can RJ handle being a guy from Toronto playing for Toronto, since Delano didn't handle it exactly right? It's actually true. I speculated this when we drafted Delano Banton as a Toronto kid being on Toronto, that you got to watch out, man. You're going to be at home and you're going to have all your old haunts, your Rexdale people. You're going to have all kinds of different people around you, and they won't be good for you during your NBA career. Can you keep that barrier up and just stick to the right people, or will it mess you up? And in some ways, there is speculation that being in Toronto for Delano was not good for him as a Toronto native. Now, do you worry about that with RJ Barrett coming into Toronto? I don't think you do. Because first of all, this young man has been in the middle of the most scrutinized franchise in the NBA for his whole career so far. And so it's not like the press and the pressure of New York City. He can deal with that. He can deal with playing for his hometown, Toronto. Not only that, he's coming back as a hero, a bronze medal winner at FIBA this summer. His father, very prominent as the head of Team Canada. And, there's all kinds of reasons here. Masai. In some ways, RJ is that kid that grew up being a Raptors fan. And he's getting to live his dream starting tomorrow. And there's nothing to hate about that. That's a beautiful thing. That's a storybook thing. And I want to see a storybook written that the Toronto kid leads the Toronto Raptors to their next championship. Because I'd love to see that narrative written all over things. And it could happen more now because he is one of our players at this point. So it's like I said, Masai and Bobby, they're not fucking around. In some ways, they were working on this deal for a month now. And they really wanted to fine tune it meticulously. They wanted to go to the G League showcase and talk to them down there in New York, Leon Rose, get it all figured out exactly. Who cares if there's a lawsuit right now? Y'all are desperate. We are desperate. Let's make this work. Yeah. James Dolan, fuck you. In some ways, this is another one of those Raptors trade wins over the Knicks. In a lot of ways, it is. They're going to find out. Like, seriously, I think they're going to find out quick. They're going to play Malachi like at some point in the next month. And they're going to be like, holy crap, the Raptors fleeced us again. Seriously. I mean, there's so many birds with one stone that we just killed. We got the backup point guard, the quick point guard, the quick little defensive scorer guard that we wanted. Yeah, we killed a bunch of birds with one stone, with one nice, nasty move. And then the byproduct of overshadowing a really dumb loss yesterday, too. Yeah, there's a lot of good things that happen with this. This is a great trade, Kevin. I'm excited about it. I think a lot of Raptors fans are reinvigorated with enthusiasm and excitement to see what to come with this next edition of the Raptors. Jillian's saying OG did good with this one. He's the one who got himself a New York-friendly agent. Yeah, I'm wishing OG all the best. Seriously, I want him to do well. I don't want the Knicks to do well overall, but I do want OG to have good success. I really do. Some people are joking already, just like with Joel Embiid and Nick Nurse, which is true right now because Joel's on the shelf, that OG may be a little fragile around Thibodeau and the way he pushes players. So somebody already put some crazy memes up on Twitter of OG in a full body cast after a month of playing for Tim Thibodeau. I don't want OG to be injured. We know that OG had a proclivity to be injured with the Raptors on semi-regular basis. I don't know what's going to happen with him there. We'll see. We'll see. I just want to wish him the best happiness, a really good contract for him in the summer, and just continued success. The other byproduct of OG being on the Knicks now is now all of a sudden they're going to talk about how he's the greatest defensive player in the league. Watch. This is going to be the seriously Raptors Nation. Open your eyes up and watch how they change, how they promote OG Anunoby now that he's in a Knicks jersey and not a Raptors jersey. That all defensive last year was really because he led the league in steals and they had to kind of recognize him. Well, is he going to win Defensive Player of the Year now because he plays for New York when he probably could have won Defensive Player of the Year in one of the years he played for Toronto? Yeah, you're going to see it. He's going to get treated a whole lot different with his award consideration. Let's just put it that way. All right, let's see. Good morning to Dana. Good morning to Canadian Dana. And we have a proud day in Canada with RJ. Rowan Barrett Jr. is coming to play for the Raptors wearing the Raptors red. I love it so much. I love it so much. RJ's awesome. Honestly, he's a good young man, and he's going to be great in for Toronto. In some ways, I feel like he's got to pinch himself in some ways about the opportunity he's about to get. He's going to get to play for Toronto, and he's going to get to play with Scotty Barnes. And that is a big, big, big thing to look forward to. Trust me. Yeah, Julian's laughing. Let's see. Kevin's saying, great for OG. He's going to be in the spotlight, maybe even more touches this year. Yeah, I think that, I don't know. He's going to be very much probably similar to RJ with the touches. I don't know how they're going to use him. They may very well just want him to be a very strong defensive specialist and just let Brunson and Randall handle all the offensive stuff. Whatever he does, I wish him well. In some ways, I'm not going to pay as close attention to him at this point, obviously. But he is somebody that I'm always going to be wishing well for. Fiercely saying, morning, fam. Sad day for me. My favorite OG was traded to the Knicks. I know it's for the best as we needed help on the offensive side. But still, best of luck to him along with Precious and Malachi. Yes, yes, and yes. Best of luck to all three of those guys going there. It's, I'm just so proud of OG. I'm really, really going to miss Precious because I know he's going to have a leap. I know he is. And Malachi, thank you. Bye. Bye. Trevor J saying that's why fans have to leave the job to the people who are capable of doing the job. That's why they're in the front office and we're not. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Listen, everybody can have opinions about what we should do. It's ultimately what's possible in realistic terms with Bobby and Masai. Well, they made something possible and they made it happen. And I like it. Some people are trying to say this deal could have been done a year ago or something like that. That's bullshit. You guys don't understand timing. You don't understand when franchises are in different desperate places. The whole thing about Jakob when he came, the timing of that was on the Spurs to a degree and also us. This is the same thing with this timing in some ways. So anybody who's saying this deal could have been done at any point, that's full of shit. Because honestly, they needed to discover more about OG being with the team. And I think that they made this deal at the very last second, that they absolutely had to make it. And that they really were trying to figure it out with the possibilities of Anunoby going forward with us in the future. I mean, that's just them doing their due diligence on research and figuring out players and their fit with Scott. And well, we figured it out. And in some ways, it was the time to do it. December the 30th, 2023. The trigger was pulled finally. And anybody's saying it should have happened earlier or sooner, or it should have waited till afterwards. They did it when they did it, and it was calculated. And in some ways, I understand why they did it yesterday. Let's see. But yeah, everybody who's feeling the emotional attachment to OG, I feel for you, and I have a lot of sympathy for y'all. I really do. I have it too, to a degree, but I've gotten better about this. It broke my heart what Vince Carter did in the middle of the 2000s. It really did. Chris Bosh, that really hurt me too. And, I'm not getting hurt by this kind of stuff anymore. Fred's left now, and I took Fred leaving this summer very well. In fact, I didn't get all bent out of shape like I did DeMar or Jonas, honestly. And I feel really good about that. Kyle, it was training me too. I knew the writing was on the wall with Kyle Lowry. And he was going to be going. And, I was preparing myself for it. And it was okay. So the same thing happened now. This is not a shock to me that OG was traded yesterday. So in some ways, I was dealing with it emotionally already in the weeks leading up to this, because I knew that there was a very strong possibility he would be the one to get traded. Now, I have the same thing going with Siakam right now. I love Siakam, and I may be a little more upset and emotional about Siakam leaving, to be honest. I'm going to tell you the truth. But if he does or he doesn't, I'm going to be very happy if he doesn't. Let's just put it that way. Trevor's saying that's why. Okay, yeah, I already read that one. Fiercey saying thanks for your words of wisdom, Trevor J. Yeah, thank you. And Fiercey saying, as for the loss to Detroit, I was kind of numb to it after the news. It's unfortunate we're the team who ended their streak. Yeah, I don't really care about that. Who cares? Nobody's going to worry about that later. People that are going to bring that up later and stuff like that, whatever. They're just haters and they're going to want to throw things like that in our face. In some ways, it's whatever. It's one game. And like I said, it's going to get forgotten. The 81 with Kobe will not get forgotten because it's a historic thing. But this is not. In fact, they didn't break the record. So in some ways, it's even more of a footnote. They get to sit in that record with the Sixers. And in some ways, I love that. The Sixers didn't get wiped off the record book for having the worst losing streak in the NBA. They're tied with the Detroit Pistons because the Detroit Pistons won yesterday. In some ways, you got to look at the silver lining of dark clouds. And there's a silver lining right there. Sixers still own the worst record with the Pistons. It would have been the Pistons by themselves if we had beaten them yesterday. So let's look at the best sides of things. Come on, y'all. All right, let me see. All right, I lost my place. I'm going to try and find it real quick. Lots of comments. I really appreciate y'all coming here. I do want to cut off because it is New Year's, but not right now. I do want to be done by noon, though. I want to get done by noon for sure. All right, where am I? Come on, where am I? I see a lot of new names. I love it. I love seeing it. This is the place where if you guys are Raptors fans and you have opinions and you want to be heard, I'll read every single comment and we'll go over it. So, All right, here we go. I think I found it. Let's see. Trevor, after finding out OG planned this, I'm a bit over it. Yeah, there you go, Jillian. Feel good because OG was already in the loop in it and he knew this transition was coming. And that it's not catching him by shock like DeMar DeRozan that summer. In some ways, he knew this was coming. Masai was probably very upfront with him about this. Nako saying, I'm a little worried about the big man situation right now. If Koloko were healthy, I'd be less worried. You do get 2 rotation pieces for a 1.5. I miss you, OG. Miss you, Precious. Good luck, Malachi. I love Gerald. Happy birthday once again, Nako the Nacho. And yeah, I love that. You miss OG and Precious, but good luck, Malachi. That's good. I'm worried about the big man situation too, especially when we see Thad Young coming in and playing backup center yesterday. You know, Scotty's backup center is probably the best backup center with Koloko on the shelf and no Jonte because of COVID. I think Webster needs to sign somebody today. Either he needs to convert a two-way of Jonte Porter or he needs to go and get another big guy. And we just need one more big guy on this team. I think we're good at guard now. And I think we're very good at wing. We saw the plethora of wings in our game last night. It's basically we had a starting lineup and then we had 5 wings off the bench. Well, 4. Chris Boucher, Jalen McDaniels, Otto Porter, and Thad Young. Very interesting kind of rotations last night. I thought that we looked pretty solid most of the game. It's just that we weren't playing at a high enough level to beat them. Missing free throws, not playing good defense once again. The Pistons should not be scoring so well. They got their most points of their whole entire season against us last night. That's because our team is not playing correct team defense. You know, in some ways, Siakam and Schroeder were talking about it after the game. They're saying the team has to be together and communicate better and really play off each other better. There's too many defensive lapses where teams are getting easy layups and dunks and wide open shots because guys are not in the place where they're supposed to be. The rotation is not rotating exactly right. There's somebody slipping in the back door and there's an easy layup. There's too much of that right now. And in some ways, we need to clean up the defensive stuff. Hopefully, with these guys coming in tomorrow, we'll set a new standard with how we're going to try and run things as a team. You get rid of some of these guys who aren't really getting with it, and you get some guys that are really with it, and they're going to drive us to more. It's more playing together. That's what I hope for. RJ's a good teammate. He's a good communicator, and he really cares. That's one thing I want from him to rub off on our team in general and quickly. He really has a get after it kind of spirit. I want that to rub off on our team also. So, yeah, that's the kind of stuff we need. Fiercely saying quickly said he's eager to be in the starting lineup. Yeah, I could see him being in the starting lineup. He should probably be in the starting lineup. His numbers are good. I think that Dennis in the backup lineup makes sense at this point. I love Dennis. I think he's going to do really well and be a very important part of our team. But that doesn't mean he has to start. I think that him coming off the bench has been a good look because he calms down the second unit. Now, I don't know what Darko's going to do. He could keep the team the way it is right now, but it's probably likely RJ's going to come in, take a starting spot, and Dennis will go to the bench. And then we'll determine whether Gary's playing well enough to start over quickly. In some ways, I kind of want quickly in there right away just to set it up, because that may be the thing that makes him really happy about being in Toronto, is that in some ways he's been behind Brunson in New York, and now he gets to be a starting point guard in the league. Well, that's very attractive and may get more out of him if we do that. Now, if he's playing in the starting lineup and his production is not as good, we may need to consider starting Dennis over him or Gary over him. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. Jillian saying fiercely, the game is not that important. Sorry, 3 in 29 is not a win. Yeah, I don't feel like that game last night. Whatever. People are gonna make it more important than they want to, just to like kind of put us down. And in some ways, it's just another game in 82. It really is. Jillian saying, Nako, I've been saying we need an additional OG for months. We need an additional center. We've been saying we needed 3 centers for a while. This is why. One gets a long COVID and he's out. Jakob's the only center. Well, who's his backup? Precious is gone now. We need another center right now. Nameless is saying, just wow. Just wow, my paisano. Yeah. Trevor's saying, Detroit players were so happy after the win, they broke down. The fans were happy in the arena. No, we're humanitarians. It was a season of giving. And it's, in some ways, they very much earned it, but they needed it. They needed it bad. And I'm telling you, Darko's very close with Monty. He sees the pain in Monty's eyes. It's not that we were trying to lose. We wanted to win, but it doesn't hurt the feelings of, if it's the person that's beating you is somebody you actually love and care about. Yeah, you kind of feel better about that. Monty Williams was in a bad place, and Darko cares about him. And in some ways, him losing to Monty in this situation is kind of like, well, old friend, I'm glad it was you, at least. Let's see. Jillian's laughing. Lex, we didn't hear the first half of what you said. When? What part? Are you not hearing me right now? Is it working now? It's like, all right. I'm wondering if it didn't work the whole time. I hope it did work. Let's see. Cowboy is here. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Happy New Year's. Happy Nako Day. Donish, I knew him. You knew Donish? You know Donish Ahmed? Yeah, he was one of my best friends, Jillian. From Pakistan, albino. He was blind, and he was a Toastmaster. Yeah, we did shows together. We were at Second City, and we studied improv together. And man, he was one of my best friends. He was like the embodiment of sunshine to me. He was like so positive, and him and I were very much birds of a feather. Donish and I had a lot in common. And for the last 4 years of his life, him and I were best friends. It really sucked that he died that on New Year's Eve, when he did 6 years ago. Oh man, it was so bad. I hated it so much. He knew a lot of people. I'm not surprised that you knew him, Jillian. I'm not surprised that you knew Donish. Donish was on late night Toronto infomercials at like around the turn of the century. You would be on watching TV at 3 in the morning. Donish is doing an infomercial in the middle of the night. He was so awesome. I miss him so much. I really do. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. You're welcome, Nako. Chill. And thanks, Jillian. Cowboy saying, bless you. OG, wish you the best. I didn't want OG to leave, but that was a nice winning trade. I like the trade a lot. Fiercely saying, happy birthday to Nako the Nacho. That's right. Nameless is saying, can you imagine if they played OG and he got injured? I don't want to imagine that for OG, but that could happen. Jillian's saying the deal completely overshadows the game for sure. Nameless is saying he was never going to play that game. You're talking about, are you talking about OG? I'm not sure. Cowboy's saying, RJ Barrett, welcome back home. Let's go quickly. Yeah, I'm all about that. I like that. Nameless saying, I'd rather that record rest with Philadelphia than Detroit, to be honest. Exactly, my paisano. They both have it now. So, yeah, Philly still got it. They want to shake it off of them. How hard is it going to be for both those teams to shake that? You know, it's really, really hard. Nako saying, thank you, Fiercey. Those poor Wingstop employees. I don't even know what you're talking about, Nako, but that's pretty funny. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. It's Stargate. I'm happy with the deal, but I believe that more are coming and may really surprise people who go. Ooh, all right, Stargate. I like that. That's ominous. I think there's more stuff to happen, but baby steps. I think that this deal is enough for right now. Let's ride with this deal for at least maybe right up till close to the trade deadline. And then if we really aren't getting any traction or getting any positive new stuff happening, then maybe we do the second deal. In some ways, you don't want to do a whole bunch of deals all at once because you may go too many steps ahead. And we want to just test it with this actual group now for a little bit And then there may be another deal at trade deadline and maybe in the offseason. I don't know. But yeah, I think there'll be more deals at least in the offseason for sure. But we'll have to see if this team actually gets going in the right kind of way with synergy with the two new guys coming in. And maybe we'll get more wins now. And then maybe it won't be as much pressure to do another trade in the middle of the season. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Let's see. Happy birthday, Nako Alley-oop. Bam. Yeah. Happy birthday, Gerald. Name was saying, I don't hate Detroit the way I do Philadelphia. We weren't trying to do them any favors. That's right. Sorry, Philadelphia. You're still the worst. Exactly. Exactly. The silver lining of all this, Philadelphia still has the worst record, losing streak, just like the Pistons. Evelyn's saying, Nako, happy birthday. All the best in the coming new year. Cheers to Nako. That's right. Happy New Year, Raptor Freak family. Awesome. Cowboys saying the NBA wanted us to lose to Detroit. All good, though. No, I don't think they did, Cowboy. I don't think they did. All signs pointed to they were okay with us beating them. It's just we failed. We just failed. In some ways, we don't understand what it takes to win in the NBA right now. That's really what the biggest problem is. Our team overall does not understand what it takes to win in the NBA right now. And they're just not doing it. They're just not adding it up to it. You know, Siakam can do what he did in the third quarter. Scotty can do what he did in the fourth. But overall, the whole thing is just not adding up to winning. And that's what we have to figure out again. What's the formula to the Raptors winning consistently and beating all kinds of different opponents and different looks in different places? The formula is not there right now. We're in a bad place. But we can start rising like a fiery bird from the ashes once again very soon. I won't say that name because it's a team in the league. All right, let's see. Happy New Year's, Granny Swag. That's awesome. Name is saying the refs made that very clear, Cowboy. No, I don't think that's true. I do not think that's true. We failed to win that game. In fact, the refs were on our side, guys. The refs were not bad refs. John Conley, Mitchell Irvin, Tyler Ford were great ref crew last night. They were absolutely fantastic. They called it right down the line. There was nothing wrong with that game last night. I'm telling you, they even got all the challenge calls right. They did a really good job. Seriously, those are good referees. I won't sully those guys. Quick who's here. Good to see Quick who. It's been a little bit. Offense is still clunky. Yeah, it was last night. Well, let's see how it goes tomorrow. Let's see how it goes tomorrow. Maybe our offense will be a whole lot better with RJ and Emmanuel around. Monique is here. Good to see the superfan Monique Lawrence. Good morning, Rapid Freak family. Please, better showing in the fourth quarter tomorrow, please. My God. Yeah, I'm with you on that. HC's here. Good to see HC. Morning from Florida from the next week. Super cold. Let's go, RJ. There you go. HC is all about looking forward and Mr. RJ coming to Toronto tomorrow. Yeah, that's what they're saying. He's going to travel today. They'll be available for press tomorrow during the day, and they will be playing hopefully against Cleveland in Toronto tomorrow night. So, yeah, we'll have a debut, hopefully, of RJ Barrett as a Raptor tomorrow. They will definitely be talking to the press tomorrow, Quickly and Barrett. Let's see. MSJ saying, yes, who cares about the loss? New era. Barnes, IQ, and RJ now. New core. Given the Dennis post game, does it seem the second shoe is about to drop? But if RJ can get his game right, big win on the trade. Yeah, I have full confidence in RJ because he's a winner. He's somebody who works hard. He cares about certain things the right way. In some ways, he understands the whole thing about the Raptors in a way that some of these other guys just won't. You know, he understands because he was the kid who watched them. In some ways, he may have more of a passion for doing things for the Raptors, just like a young kid that grew up in Toronto that watched the Maple Leafs, and they grow up and they get in the NHL, and they get to come around and play for the Maple Leafs. This is what I'm saying. I was hoping that we'd get this kind of stuff eventually. Delano was the first sign of it, a hometown kid on our team. You know, Chris Boucher's Canada pride is a part of why he may play a little harder for the Toronto Raptors. Well, what do you think is going to happen with RJ? RJ showing national pride for the Canada team this summer. Well, he's going to be showing city pride for his own city now. And in some ways, you play up and play better when that's what's on stake. You're not just somebody getting paid a big, fat NBA contract to play for an NBA team. You are actually from that city, and you rooted for that team as a kid, and you cared about that team when you were a child. And now you actually play for that team. You play for that team a little bit more in certain ways, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm excited about that factor that, you know, we're going to have a hometown kid who's actually a very high level player playing for our team now. And I want to see if that brings some more out of him. There's a lot of parallels of RJ to DeMar DeRozan. the great DeMar DeRozan, one of our greatest Raptors of all time. And in some ways, he's a taller DeMar. In some ways, his game is very similar to him. In some ways, I think that RJ has better defensive chops in certain ways. So speaking of DeMar, he beat Nick Nurse in the Philly Sixers last night, and this is what he said on Twitter afterwards: "A universal law governs all events." What is that supposed to mean, DeMar? Are you talking about the trade with Toronto? Are you talking about you beating Nick Nurse's Philadelphia 76ers last night and leading the Bulls to that victory? I like that. In some ways, maybe you have more of a grind with Nick Nurse than you do with Dwayne Casey or Masai Ujiri or anybody else around the Raptors. Because when Nick Nurse took over, you were out, and he was the new coach of our team. That's interesting. I wonder if he does get up more personal against Nick Nurse when he gets to play Nick Nurse in certain ways. DeMar DeRozan beating Nick Nurse last night and saying universal law governs all. What does that mean, DeMar? That's very interesting to me. All right, let's keep going. La 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 la. Cowboys saying nameless, they can have it. Let's go. And MSJ saying, and with IQ, him and Barnes are going to be fun. Yeah, they're very quick, and they're going to hopefully be looking for each other. I'm excited about this. Scotty may be a little unsure or a little sad because of the changes, but I think hopefully he'll be very happy. You know, RJ's a very tough person, and hopefully their personalities will get along really, really well. That's really, really important. Nako's saying, thank you, Evelyn. Thank you, Canadian. Anyone know how good RJ is at defense? I see he's fair. He's not like super exemplary in some ways. He's fair. I mean, that may be something that he does more on our team because, there's other better scoring around him. I know Randall and Brunson are kind of that there in some ways. I don't know. We'll have to see, Nako. It is a part of his game that he could probably get better and better at. Let's just put it that way. Stargate saying the game last night was very telling. And after the game, comments made after the game by certain players surely puts what I'm seeing in the court. Saw a lot of waving off and no switching off. Yeah, I don't like them not playing together. There needs to be trust. Dennis wants to trust the Raptors just like he trusts his team Germany. And in some ways, he doesn't. He's saying that we're not there yet, but he wants to get there yet. And he's very much trying to encourage it with whoever is not totally clicking with right now. And so Dennis needs to be heard or worked with behind the scenes, and y'all just need to jive. I mean, y'all don't need to become friends and do all kinds of stuff together, but you need to jive on the court, and you need to have that chemistry and that fun and that smile and looking out for each other. As Dennis put it, it's like, I want people to have my back just like I have their back, and I want to feel like they have my back. That's really scary that he doesn't think in some ways some of the people on this team that he's playing with right now have his back. I don't like that. Everybody should have their back, each other's back on the Raptors. There shouldn't be any of this kind of bullshit. Seriously. Cowboys saying, I like this trade. I like this trade too. Mo's saying, absolutely love the trade. Wow. 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 You know what? I'm going to read Monique's write-up from yesterday because she's, you know what? She's always doing her write-ups and I love it. She's saying, whether you want my write-up or not, what the hell? I do it anyway. You should want neither. There you go. Defense is important. A little pride, please. Scotty, turn it up a little sooner, please. Darko's role in all this plus more. I'm stunned. Pascal Siakam had 20 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 8 of 9 field goals in the third quarter. He was 2 of 8 in the paint in the first half. He made 7 for 8 in the third quarter. That's a great stat right there, Mo. Dennis Schroeder, 30 ball. Pascal Siakam, solid game. Game taken forever to finish due to a fake comeback. You know, it was weird how long the game took in the last 2 minutes. I was like, the Raptors don't have enough time to do this. But inexplicably, they really extended 2 minutes out to like 10 minutes. It was crazy how much stoppage and really, really trying hard. I'm like thinking about, well, why don't y'all do this earlier? You're so close, and it looks like you're just barely going to miss. And they did. And a miss taking over and winning the game. It's like that whole foul, hope they miss fouls, and then you got to make shots on the other end stuff. That's tough. And, man, they really had to count on steals and deflections in those last 2 minutes to try and get anything going. There was one really good deflection that did end up being a Scotty dunk that helped make it up a little bit. But it's why am I saying they need to figure out when they need to turn that on and start doing it earlier than so late. That's part of the problem here. They don't understand the schedule for winning and when you need to get going, at what time and what place. Sometimes it's in the middle of the third quarter. It's not with 5 minutes to go in the fourth. You know, that's the thing. You got to get up off your ass at some point and erase that double-digit lead that you let them get all the time. Yeah, when are you going to do that? It's better to do it sooner than later. Because if you're trying to do it in the very last bit of time in the game to make it happen, yeah, you're going to fail. Because y'all aren't perfect at executing. Y'all aren't good at executing on offense, and you're really not good at playing defense right now, which is crazy to me. It really bugs me actually how bad they are on defense. Let's see. Perfect send off, Toronto Raptors style. Raptors versus Pistons takeaways. We start our win streak in New York in the new year. It was a good battle. Much better start than last night. She likes the pace and the energy. Keep it going. This is Monique. I'm reading. Raptors lose to the hapless Pistons, now the talk of the league for multiple reasons. We said there was a feeling of inevitability for this game, but the day unfolded the way that nobody expected. Farewell, OG. You put us on scarves. Good luck, Precious. Malachi. Welcome, RJ and IQ. On the day Rudy Gay was traded 10 years ago, the Raptors went into LA and upset the Lakers and kicked Kobe's highly anticipated return from Achilles injury. On the day OG Anunoby was traded, the Raptors went into Detroit. And, well, who's ringing in the new year with me at a Raptors game on Monday? We the North. You go, Monique. Thank you for your write-ups as always. Amazing stuff. And here's Jakobs for it real quick. 118, 120, Niederlage being Dern Celtics. Oh, wait, that's the one from the Celtics game. Never mind. He didn't write one up for Detroit anyway. All right, yeah, let's keep going in the comments. Cowboys saying both sides won. Good, great job, Messiah and Bobby. Stargate saying involving that specific player who commented happened several times last night. You're saying about Dennis or who? Somebody waving off people or not showing people, giving people the ball. I don't know. In some ways, they got to figure this all out. Cowboys saying let's go Raptors. MSJ saying trading Flynn seemed impossible. I so wanted an upgrade at the point guard position, but I also feel Precious is going to get grilled in New York City. I'm happy with the trade. We got a point guard. There you go. I knew you'd be happy, Chris. It's what you wanted. You got it. Nako saying, I can act as if we traded Flynn for a late first, but that's not a bad trade. Yeah. If we're really breaking it down for each player, I mean, RJ and OG are pretty equal. I would say OG may be slightly the better player just because of his defensive stuff. And then Precious versus Quickly. I mean, Quickly's a much more refined, finished product than Precious. Now, would we rather have Malachi or the prospect of a 31st pick in next year's draft? The 31st pick. So I'd say that, yeah, we won at least two, if not all three of the three components of the trade yesterday, is what I would say. Quickly's much more ready than Achua now. And he's way better player than Achua right now. And but Achua could be better than him in the long run. We'll have to see. Bye, Flynn, says Cowboy. And Nameless saying RJ Barrett is about to be unleashed. He kills us in the past. I'm just excited about this. This is really good for marketing. As Oren Weisfeld has said, you know, having this guy in Canada is really, really good for all kinds of different things for marketing. And also, I think it's just really good for Canada and basketball and the Raptors in general. Space Cadet saying, I'm surprised Dennis said what he said in the post-game presser. All that indicated to me was that whatever issues they blamed Fred and Nurse for last year are still plaguing this team. Yeah, and I was worried this was going to be the case. Seriously, I was worried that this was going to be the case. I'm really worried that it's Scott, that Scott's ego is getting in the way of himself in some ways that he doesn't even totally understand. Scotty, I saw Scotty before the game, was sitting with Jama in the arena while Thad and Otto were shooting pregame. And he was with him on the computer, and he was very much listening very intently to Jama give him instruction about certain things to look out for the game with the Pistons last night. I really like that. In some ways, I worry about Scott because of what I've seen on Twitch, where he's kind of like big-headed, and he said, I don't want anybody to tell me what to do. Like he's been a little bit like that on the video games. And I wonder if he does that on the team in any kind of way, where he's kind of standoffish, or he gets pissed if somebody comes and tries to give him advice. You know, if there's any vets on our team that you don't want to listen to, Scott, you need to get over yourself on that, because every single one of those vets, Thad, Otto, Garrett, Dennis, Pascal, Jakob, they all have things to help you with. So don't tune out Jakob. Don't tune out Dennis. Don't tune out Thaddeus. They are here to help you. They're your vets, and they can help you get to the promised land and be a better and better superstar, top star in this league faster if you will open your ears and listen to them. Now, in some ways, the disconnect may be that Scotty is just not understanding what winning basketball takes in this league yet. that he needs to do a little bit of the little things. It's not just scoring, as Dennis said yesterday. There's a lot of things that go towards winning basketball, and it's some of his dirty work. Some of it's the little plays. Some of it is securing defensive rebounds. Some of it is securing the defense the proper way and a team way so that the other team can't score. That's the biggest fallacy. That if there's not trust on our team, there's not trust on the defensive end. And that is where they need to fix this the best. In some ways, the trust on the offensive end is better than ever. There was really bad trust on the offensive end last year with Nick and better trust on the defensive end. Well, it's reversed this year. The trust on the offensive end is much better with higher assist numbers and more integration of playing off of each other. It's been fantastic. And that, in some ways, because the league is more offensive, this is good that we're going in that direction. But in some ways, we've sacrificed the trust and the good things on the defensive end, and that is absolutely hurting us because we need to be able to cut the water off. Now, OG Plumbing's done. We got to have a new plumbing company, and somebody's got to figure out who's going to lead that plumbing company where the team on the Raptors is going to shut off the water on the other team so they don't score like we did for a calling card for the last few years as a team defense. We've got to find that again somehow, some way. And maybe we'll have some new leadership with some of the new guys coming in. Maybe Scott will discover what it takes. In some ways, if I had Scotty's ear right now, I tell him, go study Tim Duncan. Study Tim Duncan like a lot. Be Tim Duncan on our team. Be that anchor on team defense that does the right things in that kind of way. You can do it. You got the same skills as Tim Duncan. In a lot of ways, you do. And if you could study Tim Duncan, the way he played team defense for the Spurs over his career, that would really benefit you, Scott, if you can mimic him more and more, because you could do all that. And that may be the key to us winning is you playing more like Tim Duncan on team defense. And it's just really help defense, knowing where you're supposed to be and spacing, because quite often you're in no man's land and we got somebody dunking it behind us. You know, there's a lot of transition stuff that's happening that's stupid, where we score, we get a good basket, and then all of a sudden they just run it down the other end of the court and they make a huge basket all of a sudden with no defense getting back. This is stuff that has to be cleaned up if we want to be a winning team in the league. It's defensive connectiveness and just working together properly. So we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. Yes. Let's see. Fiercely saying Precious is into fashion. He will love being in New York. Well, he's going home. This is where he lived. He wears the Yankees hat. He's a New York guy. He lived in New York from like being a young kid through his teens and his college. So it's basically like RJ going back to Toronto. Is Precious going back to New York? There's nothing to hate for Precious. He's going to be very much at home because he's going home, literally. He's literally going home. Let's see. Cowboys laughing. Kevin Thompson saying RJ is signed long-term so we can move on from Trent if we need and quickly is an RFA so we can match any offer. There you go. I love everything you just said, Kevin. Name was saying this was a massive return for an expiring contract. I agree with that. Stargate saying, Lex, sorry, but your boy Precious is gone, man. I know. I'm sad about it, but it's had to be done. I know you were very high on him, but don't be surprised. One of your other boys is moved by this trade deadline as well, not Siakam. Well, we'll see what happens, Stargate. You keep saying this. I'm wondering what you think is going to happen. Jillian saying, Lex, Scotty was emo last night. He was definitely emotional. Definitely emotional. He really liked those guys that left. But I mean, that's just what the nature of the business is, Scott. You got to understand this is how it is. And you're a franchise guy. In some ways, you don't have to worry about getting traded so much. As Masai's already said, you're off the table. So you don't have to worry about that personally. But yeah, I know you have to worry about it a little bit with your friends. But I'll also say this, Scott, you're on the team that does the least amount of trades. So this is not something you're going to have to deal with all the time. Other teams have this happen all the time. And it's just how it is. In some ways, we are more family oriented here, and we try to keep people, and we don't just try and make trades all the time. So if anything, whatever you felt yesterday, Scott, is lessened to happen with our team than other teams, because other teams do trades much more frequently. And in some ways, that's maybe part of the plan of why Masai and Bobby don't try and do trades so much, is because of the damage it may do with players that are on the team feeling emotions and sadness about people just going in and out the door like a revolving door. So I mean, that's a strategy that could be why Masai and Bobby don't like to do so many transactions. That makes sense. It's humanitarian reason. A humanitarian reason. Let's see. Nameless saying we may be moving away from Vision 6-9. We are. I think this is signified by this. You know, it doesn't really cater. You know, this Vision 6-9 caters to Nick Nurse's defensive madness, But in some ways, it's not catered to the offense. Is what we've seen this year. It's hurt us. We've said this a couple times. Division 6-9 seems like a fail because we can't shoot threes. Because not, our guys are really good athletes and they're good defenders, but we can't shoot threes. So what we go get two guys that are better shooters, and we bring in guys that are going to be better offensively, but they're not Vision 6-9 players. Neither one of them are. RJ's a little short for being a Vision 6-9 player. He's close. He is kind of, but Manuel's not. He's not. He's a real quick little guard and something that we wanted on our wish list. Let's see. Monique saying, Happy New Year, Raptor Free Crew. I like that. Nameless saying, Bobby Webster probably made it mandatory they take Flynn too. I'm going to guess this is true, Nameless. Yeah, he may be like, all right, to make this deal sweeten and to make the money right, you guys got to take Malachi. Well, we have to take Malachi. I'm like, that's just part of the deal. All right, we'll take Malachi off your hands. Good job, Bobby. He probably did put that in there. Kevin's saying we can bring Justice Winslow for the defense since we lost OG. That's an interesting idea. You know, Justice is still kind of injury prone. I don't know. I'm not totally into this idea because he is short and he's not totally full size kind of player. I don't know. We'll have to see what they do. The open roster spot is fun. That's like the other shoe to drop with this whole thing. It's like nobody talks about this part. Everybody talks about the deal, but there's an open roster spot for the Raptors now, and we got to fill it. Are we going to convert Jonte Porter to the two-way, from the two-way to a regular? Or are we going to bring in a whole new person that nobody's talking about? It could be a G leaguer. It could be somebody who's been sitting on the shelf and waiting to get a contract, like a old pro that's kind of just hanging around. I don't know. Are we going to call Serge Ibaka? That'd be fun. I mean, I know he's playing in Germany. He's in another world, but we do need a center right now. Maybe Serge Ibaka needs to come back and say hi. That'd be fun. Let's see. Nameless is saying we also cleared up an additional 2 roster spots, which may even be more valuable. 2 roster spots. I only counted 1. But yeah, that is something right there. Stargate saying, I noticed a few things occurring in the game last night. I'm not surprised by certain comments made after the game after seeing seeming wave offs and non-switching on defense. You know, the offensive stuff is not as important to me right now. That's going to get figured out. We need to figure out our defense because we're not able to turn it on and stop teams when we need to. And that's really messed up. These guys got to communicate better and they got to trust each other better on defense. I think that's what Dennis is talking about the most about trust is the defensive side. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. OG is gone and poor Scotty experienced his first NBA pain. The business side is ugly. His closest friend and his other hangout buddy. Yeah, I feel like he felt this already when Delano and Justin left, that he's kind of already had this, but it was in the off season. Maybe it wasn't so shocking because it was in the off season when those two made their changes. Now, this is weird. Although we did cut Justin in the middle of the season, this may be, I think it is affecting Scotty the most out of anybody on the team. Nako saying Precious has high highs and low lows. I guess RJ does too. I think it's easier to see safe upside with RJ. Yeah, I think that RJ's a little bit less wild. He's a little more refined. RJ's like bad nights. I don't know. We're gonna have to get to see him more and just really ride with him and see how it is. I'm just gonna wish the best for him and hopefully just major success as a Toronto Raptor. MSJ saying OG was impossible to re-sign, and people better say Masai made the move and got something. OG will be fine in New York City, but I don't think the other ones will be, to be honest. And Lex, you got it right. We all had it figured out. I don't know how we do it. I guess we're just looking at them so closely that we kind of make ideas. Like if they had made the deal with Indiana, we would have been right on that one too. It's amazing, honestly, because we really don't talk trades here. We really don't. And when we do, we make it worth it. We do. We made it worth it talking trades recently. In fact, I'm proud of y'all that we talk about trades that are realistic and, well, they actually happen. You know, we've only talked about 2 trades really this fall, and it was this one, and the other one was the one with Indiana for Buddy Hield. So, yeah, very interesting. Cowboy saying he misses Koloko. I miss him too. Cool Cat saying, damn, COVID, I hope it does not run through the team. Yeah, Jonte and Winslow coming up in time. No, Jonte had COVID. That's why he's not available right now. Winslow, I don't know. I'm not big on converting Winslow and bringing him to the big club. I'm really not. I know you guys see a lot in him, but I don't see it in the right way for the NBA. Fiercely saying, I cried when I saw Nav Superfan IG post. I will miss OG. Yeah, where's Milbester this morning? You're getting a dunk, Fiercey, for that. I'm like, where is he? You're right. Where the hell is Milbester? If anybody should be here this morning, is Milbester. Where are you, Milbester? We need to talk Knicks with you. You're always talking Knicks when we don't want you to talk Knicks. And now the one time we want you to come in here and talk Knicks with us, Knicks fan, you're not even here. The league. All right, the legend. Yeah, the legend. You know what, Tom? I don't know where Tom Duke is. He's gonna have to move OG out of here and put RJ in. Tom, please come back, Tom Duke, and just change OG out for RJ. Please, please do that. If there's Malachi or Precious in there, you got to change them out too. Stargate saying, I don't know how to do it. That's the problem. Winslow is not a two-way. He can't come up unless they sign him to a two-way. Well, that's the thing. They have an open roster spot. They could just sign him to a minimum contract and have him on a veteran minimum or something, and just be full-fledged. I don't think he's the right one, though, because really they have pickings from the whole entire G League, the whole entire free agency pool of people that have not been playing, that are vets, that are kind of just waiting around, kind of like, I'll come in, like DeMarcus Cousins or something like that. There's a lot of different people out there that could be signed by the Raptors to fill that open spot. So Bobby's got a little bit of work to do, and we're gonna have to see what he does. It's gonna be interesting. Mo's saying, I spoke to some media people yesterday via Instagram. Bryce from Jurassic View says Pascal's a $4 million extension. $4 million. That seems low. It's probably 40 million. I'm gonna guess it's a $40 million extension. Yeah, because that doesn't sound right. Kareem's saying there's a lot to cover and a lot to talk about with the new additions, but can we just pay homage to Pascal's masterclass third quarter? He was cooking in the paint and he put all his P skills on display. There you go, Kareem Thomas. I agree. I feel like Siakam was just showing that that kind of Jordan-esque kind of stuff where he just takes over and nobody can do nothing about him. It was beautiful. It was a very beautiful quarter. And yes, you're right. We need to give him credit for it and make note of it. Alley-oop to Kareem. We'll do that. Kareem's got so much. I mean, all right, listen, I'm going to give him three dunks because he got one for yesterday for a comment on NBA Chev's Twitter. And then just now for this from me. And then Cowboys giving an alley-oop too. So he's getting 3 dunks. Let's see. Nameless saying, I couldn't be happier. It was Precious and Malachi whom had the biggest I had the biggest problem with. There you go. They're listening. Hell, they might be listening to me right now. Seriously. In some ways, I wonder because there's all kinds of weird stuff. Maybe we just are in the know. We really know stuff, and it's not that they're listening. We just really know our shit here. Because honestly, it's crazy. It's crazy the dimensions. Like I hear Jack and Matt talking about certain things that I talk about on the stream, but then again, they may just be the general things that everybody's going to talk about for that day. It's so weird. Like I'll be watching the game with Adriana last night, and I'll say something about the game, and then 2 seconds later, Jack says the exact same thing after me, and it's freaking Adriana out. She's like, "How do you know what they're going to say?" I was like, "I don't know. I just know basketball, and I'm just calling it faster than them. I don't know." I can tell what the ref's calling without them telling me because I watch the play and I say, "Oh, that's a foul on Kate Cunningham," and it's like foul on Kate Cunningham. A lot of times people can't read the plays until they get told what it is. No, I can read the plays as they're happening and even call it like the refs would call it. I don't know. It's just my eye. I've trained to do it. Let's see, alley. All right, I read that one. Let's see, Pascal is a beast in ISO. I agree. Cool Cat saying, it broke my heart for Scotty. He could not play against the Pistons properly. I listened to Pascal's interview, and it breaks my heart to see how the business side has toughened him up. Yeah, Siakam's a badass. He's been through this. This is nothing new. That's why Scotty needs to go through it too. It's just part of it. It's a business. True, Cool Cat. Fiercely saying, now I understand why they kept emphasizing on team chemistry and preseason activities. Yeah. Get them out golfing. Get them to play weird games like paper, rock, scissors. Get them to do all this kind of stuff. Get them in competitions and things where they get more intertwined and stuff like that, Let's see. Fun guy saying, wow, Lex, you don't look like a guy that's distraught. Laugh out loud. You may have realized yesterday I and many were right. Laugh out loud. We knew this was going to happen. It was like an open book seeing this coming. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care if Chris B. Haynes said that we're going to lose. I don't care if you said that we're going to lose. Whatever. In some ways, the team is just that kind of team that we don't know how to win right now. And in some ways, we're doing charity for Detroit. And I'm all about it. Give something good to Monty, Cade, and Dwayne Casey. I'm no problem with it. Seriously. It's just one game. And why should I be distraught? Is this because the people around the league are telling Raptors fans they should be crumbling and feeling in shambles because of what happened yesterday? No, no, I don't do things emotionally just because other people tell me I should have those emotions. That's silly. That then they have control over me. And fuck that. No, I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm jubilant. I don't care that we lost to Detroit yesterday. I am happy that we got RJ Barrett. So that's all I'm thinking about right now. Carlos saying, "Good morning, Rapid Freak family." Cool Cat saying, "I don't even mind the loss anymore. Scotty was an emotional wreck. He was only able to play the last 5 minutes of the game. I wish that he would be like this. Instead of sucking your thumb, get mad and take it out on the game. Seriously, whatever it is, Scott, just take it out on the game. Just be like, I'm mad about OG getting traded. I'm gonna dunk on y'all all night. That's all you need to do, Scott. Take that energy, that emotion, and put it through the ball. That's what I'm crying out for, Scott. Why don't you do that? If you're so upset about OG getting traded, go take it out on the Pistons. That's really the healthy way to do it. That's what MJ would do. That's what MJ would do. That's what Kobe would do. That's what I'm saying. Carlos saying, "Good morning, Raptor Freak family." Yeah, Bryce is here. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Yes, Bryce Lawson, Kentucky baby. Yeah. Carlos saying, "Defense is really atrocious at this moment. Can we hold the coaching staff accountable to that, or is that on the players not communicating?" All right, I'm wondering about this. And Carlos, this is a great question. It's like, how much of this is Darko's system, and that's what's at fault, or how much is it that the players are not connected and they can't play? The system is good. It's just that the players aren't connected and playing it correctly because they're not communicating and trusting each other on defense. That's the thing we have to figure out, Carlo. When they do it right, well, we'll pay attention. In some ways, we got to just see the overall percentage of when they do it right, which isn't very high right now. And that's the problem. I'm really worried about this. Now, in some ways, we know Darko's not emphasizing defense, but he could change that. It could very well be something like what kind of happened with the Boston game on Friday night. They didn't play defense for the first 3 quarters, but in the fourth quarter, they started playing defense, and it mattered, and it gave them a shot to win the game. And that if Darko's using that kind of philosophy where it's like, guys, really focus on scoring, and then later in the game, I want y'all to shut it down and go more defensive minded to catch them off guard. I can get that kind of strategy. It's just the problem is the bleeding is too bad throughout the game. That there's just not enough defensive stops in the first, in the second, in the third quarter. And sure, you can try and turn it on the fourth, but all of the stuff that they got easy earlier in the game is counting against you now at that point. And it should really be a thing all through the game. They can't be having just a defense that's like a sieve that just water runs through it. And the 905 did the same damn thing in their game earlier in the day. No defense at all. And that's why they lost to the Wisconsin Herd, is because they did not stop anybody either. And so you can say the system is the same at Eric Curry's level and with the Raptors because it's Darko's system. And maybe his defensive system needs a lot of work. Let's just put it that way. It could be that he's really emphasizing on the offensive side and getting these guys unselfish to the detriment of really focusing on the defense and making it better. Maybe he'll circle back and he'll be like, this time we're going to go more over our defense and we're going to get our defense stronger now that I feel more comfortable with how y'all are doing the offense. I don't know. We're going to have to see over time how this team morphs and transforms with the personnel, and then how they have a factor on it with Darko's systems. All right, my stars for the game with the 905 yesterday. Justice Winslow is my number one star. He started this game 28 minutes, 20 points, 7 of 15, 1 of 2 from the 3 of 3 at the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers, a +1. Yeah, the 905 lost by 10. They were losing by way more, and they made it up by the end. And in some ways, it's really disgusting what happened. They had a really good second quarter, but man, they let them score too much in the first quarter. The Wisconsin Herd, the 905. Let's see. The second star of the game for this game is Mohamedou. Mohamedou came out and got 16 points in 42 minutes. That's not the best. 8 of 15 from the field, 9 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks. You know, they didn't have a whole lot of players once again. The 905 only playing 9 guys, and not having Jonte is really hurting their defense. In some ways, he's a defensive anchor that really gives them a better defensive look. So he was missed. But Mogi, once again, a lob threat, really solid around, like flying through the air and throwing stuff down. I really like Muhammadu. He's really good, and I want him to become a full-fledged Raptor at some point. The third star is Daryl Morsell. Daryl, in some ways, it's like I'm giving it to Daryl because he was just like one of the only guys off the bench that did anything. There's really bad scoring in this game for the Raptors. 905. Daryl Morsell, 10 points off the bench, 5 of 10 shooting, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block. So yeah, my 3 stars are Winslow, Gee, and Morsell. Noel was okay, but not really. 14 points, 6 of 17 shooting, 2 of 7 from 3, 9 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, 3 turnovers. So a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. JFL was not good in this game. 5 of 13. He was quiet. He missed all 3 of his threes. 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 12 points. That's really not really good scoring output from him. And then Kobe Simmons, also similar to Javon Freeman Liberty, 5 of 12, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 10 points in 38 minutes. That stuff's just not going to cut it. And Jayshawn Page is just annoying off the bench, a real ball hog and real annoying. So yeah, there's your report about the 905 loss to the Herd yesterday. They were losing by too much the whole game, trying to play catch up, and the only catch up they can make is get in within 10 by the end of the game. They were losing by way more for most of the game, way more. All right, let's see. Mischief's here. Good to see Mischief. I like the trade. We're going to go on a 8-game winning streak. I like that prediction, Mischief. I hope you're right. And Bryce Lawson saying finally got the Kentucky guard. That's right. Quickly, Kentucky. That's right. And we got a Duke guy too. Another Duke guy. In some ways, that's an interesting pairing with Gary Trent. I don't know how much Gary and RJ have a history together. They may actually have played a little bit together. Did they play together at Duke? They might have, because they're right around the right timeline, right? That'd be interesting to see how much Gary knows RJ from both being Blue Devils. That's something interesting. Yeah, fun guy saying Adriana is a part of the family. She can distract you all she wants. We love you, Adriana. The fun guy. I didn't know she was going to do that. That's why it's so distracting. She said something about maybe ordering something, but she never said she did. And then she just busted out and did it. Stargate saying, you guys realize if they hit 3 more free throws, they win the game. Yeah, it's not as simple as that, though. In some ways, there's a lot of different things that need to add up for them to win. And it has to do with defense and hitting open shots and free throws, for sure. You're right. But in some ways, the Pistons missed just as many free throws as us. They were just as bad. All right, let's look at the team stats. We got 9 more shots on goal than them. 46 field goals. They had 41. So we beat them in the field goals. We shot just slightly better. The free-pointers were exactly even. Both teams getting 12. We actually shot better from 3 than them. But the free throw line is where things are different. In some ways, the Pistons were more aggressive, and they got the free throw line more than us. 40 free throws for them, 28 for us. And they made 12 more free throws than us overall. Both teams shooting 80%, though. We missed 5 free throws. They missed 5 free throws. So in some ways, I'm like, both teams missed 5 free throws. Now, I really hate that we got out-rebounded, 41-33. I really hate that we, didn't do better in certain things like, the turnovers weren't totally bad. We only had 8, and they had 12. The points in the paint, we did win in the end. We weren't winning at halftime. But I think Scotty going in there and being a bully at the end of the game actually put us over the top, 56-50 in the points of the paint. Yeah, free throws. Okay, free throws, sure. We can blame free throws. Let's see. Fun guy saying, bro, Emmanuel is a superstar in the making. He averaged 22-plus points and 5 assists as a starter in 21 games. Bro, he's going to explode here. We have our own Malachi, man. No, don't even call him Malachi. This guy's way better. We got our own Emmanuel Quickly. Bryce Lawson, I've been screaming this for years, talking about Kentucky players. He wants Kentucky players. I was telling him yesterday in the 905 chat, we had Patrick Patterson. Dwayne Casey's Kentucky, and he was our coach. So we've had a couple of Wildcats around our team. Yeah, you wanted our own Maxey. You meant Maxey instead of Malachi. Okay, thank you for clarifying that, fun guy. Carlos saying, yes, Bryce and fun guy, we now have our lead guard. Yeah, I'm excited about this. I'll bet Quickly's excited about it too. In some ways, look, he was tweeting about winning on Christmas Day in Madison Square Garden, how fun that is. Well, now you may be a starting point guard in the league now, Emmanuel Quickly. I'm all about it. Monique saying the 3 stars of the game for her in the bad loss are Pascal, Dennis, and Gary. Same as me. MSJ saying, I'm going to buy an IQ jersey. Yeah, you want to get that quickly jersey. All right, get it quickly. Cool Cat saying, Pascal is the last player of the chip run now. NBA business too cold. Well, Chris is here still, too. Chris is still a ring bearer from our championship. So we have 2 ring guys still. And Jama counts for this also. So we have 3 guys from our championship team still around the team. Pascal, Chris Boucher, and Jama Malaya. So let's see. Fiercely saying, now both Dennis and Ellen have paused their video droppings. I hope the vibes get back up soon. I like watching them. Yeah, Joel dropped the video about going to a Travis Scott concert in Toronto. I did not watch it yet. I'm not that totally interested in Joel Vision. But yeah, they have paused. They're not posting anything because he's been losing. And in some ways, maybe there's been people out of pocket coming in there and saying stupid shit to them, and they shouldn't be. People talking shit to Shakina Young on Twitter. Embarrassing, Raptors fans. If you feel like engaging with family members of the Raptors players in an ugly way to deride their family member, you need to just stop. It's harassment, and you guys look like idiots. And in a lot of ways, it's totally unnecessary, and it's just hateful. And it's like, why do you want to come at people like Ellen Schroeder and Shakina Young and talk trash to them just because of their husbands playing in the NBA? You're haters, and you need to stop. People that attack family members of NBA players need to stop right now, is what I'm saying. Fun guy saying Scotty was emotionally damaged, bro. OG was like his number 1 guy, like for real. He loved him as a friend. I'm sure others did too, but OG must have been Scotty's best friend, to be honest. I don't think it's that bad. Y'all are over exemplary. I know it hurt him and he's emotional about it, but I saw him before the game and he looked fine when he was sitting there with Jama. In some ways, it's like it's just what it is. And in some ways, Scotty, you got to be a big boy and understand this is the business of the NBA. And that's all it is. In some ways, yeah, I can be feeling bad for him and feeling emotional for him. But in some ways, we don't need to cater to him and cuddle him like a little baby. He needs to be a man and understand this is the NBA. It's a business. He's just going to have to deal with it. OG is a great guy. You're going to get to see OG still. So what Dennis said, it just changed teams. It doesn't change your friendship. It doesn't change that you're going to be friends with him for the rest of your life. It just means that you're not on the same team. You're not going to see each other all the time anymore, but you're going to be friends still. Trust me. That's just how it is. Carlos saying Scotty needs to watch some ref reports. Yeah, he needs to understand Tyler Ford's his friend. Nameless is saying, thank God you corrected that fun guy. Yeah, thank God. He said we got our new Malachi. No, it's Maxie. Cowboy saying, I think so fun guy. Hopefully Scotty gets along with RJ and IQ. Let's grow. That's the thing, Scott. I don't want you to be the person that's not getting along with Fred, not getting along with Dennis, not getting along with this person. You can't be that person, Scott. If you want to be a franchise player in this league, I can't be having you being like James Harden bullshit. You need to be a more easygoing person and get along with your teammates and get better with them. Because in some ways, it's looking like you're the common denominator in this shit. And, it's one thing if you don't get along with Fred. It's a personality conflict, but it's going to continue. The next person, Dennis. Is it going to be the next person? Well, the problem's you then, bro. It ain't the people coming in. It's going to be, you're going to have to look at yourself in the mirror if it continues to happen over and over again. Because you should get along with most people in this league, especially since you say you're a team-oriented person, team-first person. You love all your teammates. You love the NBA life. Well, you better love all your teammates, and you better mean it. You better be walking the walk and not just talking it, is what I'm saying. All right, let's keep going. MSJ saying even LeBron James isn't getting calls these days, even on the replay. Laugh out loud. Ha, ha, ha. All right, that's funny. There, you guys are all laughing and crying. Fun guy saying, I can't believe Masai actually did what we've been crying for. Malachi and Precious almost turned me bald, especially Precious. Oh, my God. Thanks, Masai. I'll share in this. I'm sad about Precious, but I'm definitely happy about Malachi. Kevin's saying, do you think Pascal gets traded? I want to keep him personally. He can score a pass still in his prime. Well, he's not allowed to get traded as of today for 6 months, Kevin. That was the deadline yesterday. The December 30th deadline was that if we didn't trade him yesterday, like we did OG, well, he's going to be with us for the next 6 months, guaranteed. So there you go. It's not going to get traded now because the deadline passed for him to get traded. Bryce is saying, how do I get my name to be green? You have to join as a member, Bryce. Either you get gifted as a membership. Some people are gifting memberships on this channel, or you can go and just click the join button on my channel. And for like $5 a month, you get to be a member of this channel. And that means you get to join me in Facebook. And I do live reactions to the game on Facebook chat. I don't do live reactions through this, but I will type stuff during the game that I'm observing during the game. It's a very lively live chat during the games, and you can be involved in it, Bryce, if you're interested in that. All you got to do is join as a member, and then you add me as a Facebook friend, and boom, you're in there with Monique, Trevor J, Cowboy, not Cowboy, but a lot of us that are regulars in here, Jillian, Fiercey, we're all in that chat, and you can join us there too. Let's see. And it's really just the join button on my channel page. You just hit that. There's 3 tiers of subscriptions, and you can choose which one you want to be on. The purple level is $5, and it's the basic one. And you get all the emotes, and you get the green lettering and all that stuff. Yeah. Let's see. Carlos saying, I do hope we keep Pascal. I do too. Yeah. Jillian's saying pay. Okay, Fun Guy saying in the clutch, Scotty went 3 possessions in a row and scored, bringing us up back in the game. And then guess what? Pascal said, "Fuck that, man! It's my turn," and failed 3 possessions in a row. That's coach and Pascal shaking my head. I don't mind Siakam taking those shots. In some ways, he has failed in doing those kind of things in the past, but he was very successful in the third quarter. So why would we get mad at him for trying to take his part in carrying us at the end? It's true. Scotty was really good, 3 possessions in a row, and Siakam got his turn and he failed. Yeah. But I'm not mad at it because I like that these 2 guys are the guys we're focusing on at the end of the game because they're going to get it done. Jillian said, I saw Siakam's interview on YouTube. Still there. Cheers. Okay, so it's up somewhere else. Okay, it wasn't on the official Raptors site. Carlos said, I saw that Pascal interview, and we do have stupid reporters. Doug was asking, how does Pascal feel about being in Toronto after the trade? I mean, what the fuck? Is Pascal going to stay? What the fuck is Pascal going to say? Yeah, Doug Smith's an idiot. Michael Grange is an idiot. A lot of them are idiots. They just are. Stargate saying Quickly is actually a pretty good on-ball defender. Yeah, I know. In some ways, that's something that I'm really excited about. Besides the really high three-point percentage and just being a quick, active guard, this defensive stuff for him is going to be very good. That's what I'm saying. I'm really excited about seeing him and Dennis as a 2-guard defensive lineup to really hound people. Like, they're going to be funneling people. If they get in line with each other, if Emmanuel and Dennis really click, they could be doing all kinds of crazy stealing stuff, kind of like Norman and Fred from before, or Fred and Gary from the years before. That's the kind of stuff I want to get back to in some ways, is like these steals that these guards get on the outside at the point of attack. You know, Quickly and Schroeder and Trent, the 3 of them, along with the other guys, can really get their balls on the hand, their hands on the balls of, like, you know, the other team at the top of the court. Cool Cat saying, wait, did the Raptors take down Pascal's interview? They might have. I saw it live last night. So I know what he said. And some other people may have saw it. You may be able to still find it on YouTube somewhere. Wayne Stranger saying that was a necessary loss. Forget about it. David, I'll accept all the cookies. We have been saying that the nicest guy has to go along with Malachi. Precious worked himself to be traded. Good deal. Yeah, there you go. I like that. Wayne's coming back in. He's saying, give me cookies, David. Yeah, I think it was a necessary loss, too. I think we bottomed out. It was a rock bottom last night. We got to the rock bottom of things. Now it's time to rise back up. And reinforcements are coming tomorrow. Monique's saying, heavy post-game indeed. It is what it is. It's a business. It's not fooling anybody. Nako's saying, Pascal gets paid unless Keegan Murray or equivalent is on the table. I don't want Keegan Murray. He had one really good game recently. I still don't want him. Carlos saying Quickly is the star of the trade. I love OG, but Emmanuel will be so good with Scotty. I hope so. I really, really hope so. I want Quickly to be like, who, if we're ranking who got traded yesterday, who's the best player in there? So a lot of people are saying OG is, you know, and they may be right. And RJ's probably second and Emmanuel's third. And then maybe Precious and then Malachi. I think that that's the proper ranking of the 5 players involved in the trade yesterday, as far as who's best. In some ways, we got 2 and 3 on that list, and that's very good. And maybe Quickly is better than RJ. I don't know. Let's see. G saying apparently this trade was on the works for a week, and going to the Orlando showcase pushed it along. Do you think this means a 2-way is being converted? I don't know. I think it's simple to just convert Jonte and put him in that roster spot, and then maybe give a 2-way to Justice. I don't know. Maybe you do that. Bobby's got a couple different alternatives and routes he can go with this right now. I've got a half an hour, y'all. Do not add any more. I'm going to try and finish up before noon. Stargate saying, yo, Cool Cat, you're right. That Pascal postgame presser is gone. It's not on the official drop, that's for sure. Carlos saying Siakam can still be traded, Lex, but the team that is getting him can only extend him 2 years. Oh, okay. I guess I didn't understand the language of that. I thought they were saying that if he doesn't get traded by yesterday, that he's probably going to be with us for another 6 months at least. Nako's saying if Pascal isn't getting traded this year, he's probably a Raptor next year. I don't see a sign and trade, and I don't see them letting him walk. In some ways, I'm okay with leaving Siakam on this team and still having him around him. I'm telling you, in some ways, I'm worried about Scotty. And as much as he's so amazing and incredible, there's things about him that bug me. And I know what Stargate's getting to when he's saying things. I know what he's getting to. I think we will continue to have Scotty on our team. But if he's having a problem getting along with different people constantly, well, maybe he is the person we may need to consider trading instead of Siakam. Let's see. Cool Cat saying it will be interesting to see how the NBA business side affects Scotty now that he lost his closest friend OG and his hangout buddy Precious. His heart's going to toughen up. Yeah, well, it should have been already. He's in the NBA. Norma saying, I like your positive take. I appreciate you, Norma, and I'm glad to see you here. Monique saying, IQ will be legit for us, man. Oh man, RJ2, let's fucking go. Pumped as ever, all caps. There you go. Monique is pumped. She's in caps. G saying, RJ is so happy to come, and IQ put God's plan on his Instagram in a photo of the plane. He seems happy too. I bet they are. New York's a tough place to play. In some ways, that's the thing that different people are going to find out, that quickly may find out, wow, this is a lot less stress than the press in New York and everything with the fans and Tim Thibodeau. And this is a little bit better in some ways. I like this better. And I may be starting now. And RJ, well, we know all the reasons why he's going to be happy. Yeah, we know why he's going to be happy. Wayne saying, Masai's hand was forced by players' unprofessionalism and their blah, blah, blahism. We have lost both the will and the know-how to win close games. OG's agency is attached to the Knicks. It was inevitable. Yeah, everything right there. I won't disagree with Wayne. We have unprofessionalism. We have lost the will and the know-how on how to win games. That is all exactly right. And we need to recapture that. Maybe RJ and Emmanuel will come in with a treasure map and show us this is how you win games again, Raptors. And with the new guys coming from the Knicks, will show us the right path again. 100% Mo from Carlo and Cool Chat saying Pascal will help his little brother Scotty to manage the process. Scotty trusts Pascal. That's right. Scotty, you're growing up quick. You're maturing fast. These are the tough lessons. They come quickly. They come quickly, and now quickly's here. Let's see. Mischief saying, what do you think OG is getting paid next year? 30 million to 40 million? I think he'll get 40 million. I think you'll get something similar to Fred, maybe. Click saying worst loss in franchise history. Who gives a fuck? It's not. It's not. It's not the worst loss in franchise history. We've had worse losses than this. And in some ways, I don't even care. You can label that if you want, Click. But who cares? Who cares? It's just another game. We've lost a lot of games this year. It's just another loss. So what if Detroit had lost so many games in a row? They were due to win, and they needed to win. And they got it against a weak opponent, a team that doesn't know how to win right now. So good for them. But yeah, I'm not going to label this worst loss in franchise history. You people that are trying to do that today, y'all are just negative ninnies. And people that just want to put something on there, who cares? It's one game out of 82. I don't give a shit about Detroit's streak. I care about the new trade and the new direction we're going. That's what I care about. Fun guy saying RJ was a Mississauga guy. He probably grew up in the burbs with a nice family and friends around him. Don't think he's coming back to like the hood friends or something like that and carry guns. No, I don't think so for sure. And we've got to think about, he has more pressure on him, and he always did because of his father. His father is an icon in Canadian basketball. His father, his godfather is Steve Nash, for Pete's sake. When RJ was born, Steve Nash was his godfather. So I'm just saying, that's the thing. He's always been around basketball. His dad is in charge of Team Canada basketball, and he's such an important person. RJ can't make his family look bad. In some ways, he has to be a goody two-shoes like he already is naturally because of the nature of his family. And that Rowan Barrett Sr. is in charge of Canada basketball. So in some ways, there's a lot more to this as far as being a role model and being the perfect kind of person to be a Canadian athlete in Canada on a Canadian NBA team. So I completely agree. In some ways, yeah, he grew up around basketball with his dad and everything around it. He's had Steve Nash counseling him since he was a very small baby on how to play basketball the right way. That can't be a bad thing. Seriously, that can't be a bad thing that when you were a little kid, you had Steve Nash teaching you how to play basketball. That can't be a bad thing at all. Isaac saying we gave the Knicks our bench woes. Yeah, we're running through the streets to New York with our woes. You know how that shit goes. You know how that shit goes, James Dolan, Leon Rose. You know how that shit goes. You're going to get our players we don't want. And everybody's going to be like, what are you doing? G saying Masai went to Detroit personally to let them know. Class act. That's right. That's the humanistic way to do it. He came in and told them, yeah, they kind of knew already. I know they knew. They knew the rumblings were coming. They maybe kind of already was like kind of hints. And they knew. They knew. They knew it was coming. Let's see. Fun guy saying Delano on the other end was definitely risking that going back to Rexdale in the hood. Laugh out loud. That's one of the things I said on this channel when I talked about Delano when he first came. It's like you can't let Toronto mess you up because you're a hometown guy. And I think RJ, you're right. He's a Burbs kid. He's a Saga kid. And in some ways, he was already ensconced in good things all the way through his life. And so I think he'll be okay from this. I think he will be. Let's see. Yeah, fun guy. His dad is a basketball guy. That's a solid middle class family. That's Wayne saying the same thing I'm saying right now. Cool Cat saying, I think RJ can handle playing at home after being on the Knicks. The scrutiny has toughened him up. Yeah, this will be easier. Honestly, in a lot of ways, he's going to be like a hero across this country. He's going to be like the press love him already. It's not like Doug Smith and Warren Weisfeld. They don't really like kiss his ass already. And they love him because they write fluffy pieces about him. Warren Weisfeld had like a dream day yesterday. He's like, holy cow, we've got RJ Barrett on this team. He loves RJ Barrett. Warren Weisfeld himself, he really loves RJ Barrett. So he's really, really happy about this. Fun guy saying Dennis is about to get traded. He was basically asking for it in that post game saying all that crap. I don't believe that. I see him as crying out to try and get this team right. And then that's the problem. All right, somebody's fire alarm's going off in the house now. I think it's upstairs. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, Lex, U.S. media already addressing OG by his title, all defense OG. See the hypocrisy? I knew they would right away. They are bringing up that he's an all defensive player from last year. Yep, I knew they would. Let's see. Kweku is saying, what do you think they try and get position-wise with Siakam trade? Happy Achua. Hang on, it jumped. Yeah, I don't know why their alarm's going off upstairs. Let me see here. Oh, Milbester is here. Okay, good. We're going to get Milbester comments. All right, where's Kweku? I want to get this last Kweku comment here that I was reading, and then it jumped ahead. I don't even know why. All right, no more comments. I may go a little long. What do you think they try and get position-wise with the Pascal trade? Happy Achua is gone, as I don't think he was a backup big. He was still quite raw. Yeah, I don't think he's a proper backup center, and I didn't totally like that role for him. But now he's gone. I don't have to worry about it. I don't think we're going to trade Siakam. I don't think we are. So I'm not going to say that. Seymour's got somebody crying. G's saying, yep, calling him all defense OG and his odds going up for defensive player of the year, apparently. Shaking my head. Well, he's not having a good enough year to be considered for defensive stuff. Now, if he turns around on the Knicks for the rest of the season, then maybe he will. But he's not on our team. Everything he did for the Raptors so far this season is not all defensive. Let's just put it that way. Wayne saying, OG requires toughness. Too damn soft mentally. Take your niceness to the UN and Red Cross. Our team needs grit. Precious disappointed us also. Miami. Total detachment from non-productive elements. Wayne Strainer, you're hilarious. And he's tough love that I like. I like that. Cowboy saying, yeah, that's crazy. Isaac's got the scarf for OG and the plumbing company. Man, that's sad. Stargate saying, Cool Cat, it's not just hypocrisy. It's pure and unadulterated xenophobia. Let's not be afraid to call these xenophobe U.S. basketball media heads out. Yeah, it's just a bias. It's just that they really don't want us to get anything. We win stuff. We really want it. Let's just put it that way. That's why any of the accolades Raptors have gotten in the last few years, well, it's against the grain. It's not necessarily what the NBA wanted. Now, you want an alley-oop for Stargate? I'll agree with that. Stargate's been pretty good today. Some interesting stuff he's saying about possible further trades, and it won't be who we think it is. That's very interesting to me. Let's see. Nako's saying Jay Williams, the good one, would be who I would try to get for Pascal. You mean Jalen Williams? I don't even know who you're talking about. You say Jay Williams, I think the guy who played for Duke, who got in a motorcycle accident before his career started, and he destroyed his career because he got hurt. The analyst on TV. That's who Jay Williams is. You're going to say Jalen Williams? Put Jalen and write the whole name out. because there's like Jalen Williams, Jay Williams. There's so many, Nako. Happy birthday. But be more thorough. You're talking about Oklahoma City, Jalen with a Y Williams is what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to trade Pascal. I'm not, y'all. He's good with our team. He should be here. Cowboys saying that game last night was a setup. I don't agree with that. We had every chance to win. We should have. We just failed. Monique saying Scotty needs to do in late game situations. Defense, please. I wrote my write up in frustration. Can you tell, Lex? Forever cheering regardless. Yes, I can. And I want to remember to read your write ups on this show because I feel like they're very worthwhile to put on blast. So, Monique, if you don't mind me, give me permission to read your write-ups on the show. I think they're a great segment, and I would like to do it going forward as much as possible. If I forget to do it on certain days, don't get upset, but I would like to incorporate it in our stream regularly if we can. All right, I'm on 20 minutes. Let's see if I can get it done. Cowboys saying, at least my Cowboys got the best of the Lions. Let's go Raptors. Okay, all right, NFL. Cool Cat saying, Grange article said the New York loss was the pivot. That explains why I was seeing what I was seeing in OG's eyes at the game. Yeah, we knew OG. I've been calling this for like a month or so that he knew he was on and the writing is on the wall. Carlos saying, "Hey Mo, do you think the defense is on the coaches?" See, I don't know about this still, Carlo. If the guys would do it correctly, I could gauge whether the defensive system that Darko has is worthwhile or not. But they're not doing it consistently enough yet. Seymour saying quickly is a good pickup, Maxi 2.0. I think he's in the ilk of Tyrese Maxey. He's not at the level, obviously, but he's definitely in that kind of mold. And I'm interested to see what he can do. Yeah, we have a Kentucky guard. That's right, Carlo. And Cool Cat saying, I've been preparing for a Pascal departure, but I think it will still hit me hard. I don't think it's coming, Cool Cat. I really don't. If it does, so be it. It is what Masai and Bobby wanted and Darko. But I don't know if it's actually going to come. Seriously. I'm not predicting it right now. I don't feel it coming. I think Siakam's going to be a Raptor going forward now. But who knows? I mean, he's working his ass off right now. He's definitely not checking out like OG did. So in some ways, that's a sign of something. Cowboys saying, I see that, Seymour. And Kwaku's saying, RJ at guard. I mean, the lineup, if we're going to have both of them start, would be Quickly and RJ at guard. Yeah. And then Scotty, Pascal, and Jakob up front. And I like that lineup, honestly. RJ should be the shooting guard. He should be the shooting guard. I mean, if we're going to choose between the two of them, and Quickly is definitely the point guard. And once again, I want Scott to be the power forward. We should be the 4, and Siakam should be the 3. Siakam's more of a slasher kind of guy. And then you put Scotty in the post. And you see what he did in the end of the game last night. I don't understand why Raptors fans don't want him to be so dominant down low. The man could be making so many points and getting the foul line so much, working his ass off in the lane and busting people up in the low post. That's why I don't want him to be point guard. This man should be the power forward, and he should be playing like Karl Malone, is what I'm saying right now. Yeah, he should be playing like Karl Malone. Seriously, let that man play like Karl Malone. Not like off the court, though. Let's see. All right, let's see. Let's go. Yeah, Cowboy saying 100 salute, Cowboy. Let's see. I think RJ will be a good hype man for the team. He's definitely going to be in the media. Y'all going to see him all over the place in commercials. Nago saying, I'm not worried about IQ in a starting role at all. I think it's natural. He's the best point guard on our team now, quickly. Cowboys saying, yes, sir. Bam. Isaac saying the 2-guard rotation is back. We have a defensive point guard that has a 6'8" plus wingspan. There you go. I like that, Isaac. That's a great fact. Bryce is saying, let's go. Kentucky is in the house right now. Bryce is feeling it. Carlo's feeling it. A lot of people. Kareem Thomas is feeling it. They want a Kentucky guard. They got a Kentucky guard. That's right. I'm telling you, Bobby and Masai are listening, and they try to order it up the way we want it. We don't want no more Malachi and Precious. They heard us. They want us to get RJ. Yeah, we get RJ. They want us to. We wanted them to get a guard. We get Quickly. Oh my gosh, it's like they're listening. It really is. Cool Cat saying Scotty gifted his friend Cade an emotional W. Cade was smiling with his coach in the interview. There you go. See, if anybody's gonna do something like this for them, at least it's your friends, and at least you're looking out for them, and you're helping them out when they're in trouble. It really is like that. Seymour saying, rubbing my hands together, waiting for Coloco's return like a paycheck. Man, I wish he would come back. If they're not using an exemption on him like Mitchell Robinson, then it must mean he's coming back. If you're not going to do an exemption and do something with that. So G saying, Bryce, she kept asking for it and brought that energy back. I think our Kentucky friend may be part of why we've got a Kentucky player all of a sudden. He's just put it in the ether, and now it's there. Cowboys saying alley oop to Seymour. Come on, Coloca. All right, you want Seymour Pape to get an alley oop? We'll give an alley oop to Seymour. He's getting an alley oop. 49 for him now. Let's see. Click saying Pascal is next. Writing is on the wall. We'll see. We'll see. I don't totally believe it yet. Bryce is saying that, gee, yes, manifestation at its finest. You know, Siakam was something that was going to happen. It would have happened yesterday, but it didn't. 2024 champions, Toronto Raptors. Okay, Cowboy, I hear you. Cowboys saying, trust in Messiah, let's go. There you go. Do people trust in Messiah again today? I think they do. Cowboys saying, does anyone know what number RJ and Quickly are? RJ is number 9, I believe. I believe that he wears number 9. Let me just make sure. And then Quickly, I'm not totally sure about either. Let's see. Are they on our roster yet? Quickly's number 5. So he's going to take Precious's number. He's going to be number 5. And RJ is number 9, guys. So RJ Barrett, number 9. And Quickly is going to be number 5. So that's the numbers for them, just so you know. Let's see. Fun guy saying Quickly's 5. Wayne saying we're about cerebral conversation here. So let's opine on this. Messiah has got to detach from Giants of Africa attachments. You know, it's interesting. 2 of the guys that went to New York are Nigerian roots, just like our team vice president. And I thought about that in some ways, but it is what it is. Let's see. Nice. And all right, here's Mel Bester. Let's see what he's saying about the trade, the New York side of it. Good morning, Raptor Streak. Happy New Year's Eve and day. Happy 2024. So thoughts on the trade. I will miss RJ, but he's going to fit really well for the Raptors. We'll be back home in Canada in his home. Yeah, it's really nice. Anunoby's going to fit in well with Hartenstein. You guys got one of the best two-way players in the league, if not the best two-way player in the league. I want to see him flourish more with you guys. I love OG, and y'all be good to him. Now, you guys may be, impatient with him in certain ways. You may get impatient because he may be injured sometimes. You may get impatient with him because he may be inconsistent offensively. So I just caution Knicks Nation, be nice to him. Go easy on him. He's a nice spirit. He's a good man. He's a good person. So I just say have patience with OG, but maybe not with the other 2. These other 2 guys, they need to get their ass in gear. And you're going to find out. You're going to find out some of our frustrations with those other 2. But Precious is a fantastic stud. And dude, seriously, y'all could be getting the real good leap he's going to have soon. Seriously. So Precious is a good move. Malachi's a waste. You guys are going to hate Malachi very soon, is what I'm going to say. New York City is going to hate Malachi Flynn very soon. So Melbester, get ready for that. I'm just going to tell you, he's going to let you down, and you're going to be really mad that you guys got him. I'm going to tell you that right now. Cool Cat saying RJ and Scotty didn't like each other as competitors growing up. They jostled and flexed on each other growing up. Now they're teammates. See, I vaguely remember this. Cool Cat. And this is what I was trying to remember. The crossings of RJ and Scotty in the past. How did it go? Was it like this? They were competitors against each other. Well, I think RJ's a good dude. Hopefully Scotty can see that. Maybe they have more in common than we realize, and that maybe they will be fast friends. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I don't want Scotty to be like pissy towards the new guys just because he's sad that OG left. That's dumb, Scott. Don't be like that. Be very open-armed and welcoming these guys in because it's important for the future. You got to have the right perspective about being on an NBA team. And you can't play cliques and favorites. And these are the people that I care about, but they're gone. Delano and Justin and OG. No, you need to have friendships and good things with your teammates that are presently your teammates. And you need to work, cultivate, and actively to have these kind of relationships with these guys, whether it's Fred, Dennis, RJ, Emmanuel, whoever. You need to try and cultivate good relationships with these people and get on the right page with them. Fiercely saying, I have OG's jersey. We'll wear it if another opportunity to see him in action. And you're right. Cool Cat and Lex, the U.S. media will put him on blast for his defensive stuff. Yeah, it's just going to happen. And you know what? Rightfully so. He deserves more recognition. It's too bad they wouldn't give him his due while he was here with us. And that just shows a bias towards our country. Milbester saying Knicks' three-point efficiency improves even more with OG and DiVincenzo. At least they have a wing 3-and-D who can play elite defense and score decent for us. He's a good laser shooter, a three-point shooter. But in some ways, I feel like we got better three-point shooting coming back to us. We really need Quickly so bad right now. And hopefully RJ will be a very sound shooter for us overall. I know his shooting percentage can fluctuate. And sometimes he's got it and sometimes he doesn't. But I'm very interested and curious to see what RJ does for our team and how much he's motivated to play for his home city. Let's see. Cool Cat saying OG will be forcing me to watch Knicks games. Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins will butcher his name. Well, they're going to get his name right now. Watch. So many people have said OG's name wrong for his whole entire career. You can watch. That's going to be another weird byproduct that all of a sudden people are going to say OG's name correctly because he's on New York. Watch. I'll bet you money. Investor saying the Knicks lost to the Pacers, but they barely were keeping up with them. Good for them. Good for them. Wayne saying Masai is intellectually and operationally solid, and his track record illustrates he's a master of detachment. Boom goes the dynamite. Wayne Strainer, once again, one of my favorite voices on this channel. Cowboys saying, laugh out loud, Cool Cat. I bet they won't know since he's on an American team. Who knows? I bet you they'll get his name right now. They really will. They'll start saying Anunoby instead of Anunoby. And they'll start spelling his name right too. Watch. Let's see. G saying the best part about this trade is RJ is on a contract till 2027. IQ is an RFA, so they have control to lock him up. Love that we have security with their contracts, which is what we did not have with any of the three guys going the other way. All three of those guys are free agents in the summer. Malachi, Precious, and OG. Cowboys saying yes, yes, and yes, G. And Cool Cat saying Dennis putting his teammates on blast is tough to see. I wonder if his time is on countdown. I know y'all think this, but I think this is him calling out and crying them out. You know, maybe he's doing this behind the scenes or whatever. I don't have any problem with what Dennis did. I think a lot of people in the comments watched it were like, wow, I have a respect for him because you can tell he gives a shit about us getting better and winning. And that's the message I got from it. There's nothing wrong with what Dennis did. He's just being honest about what's going on, and he's right. And if these are problems that are going on in this team, and they're the same problems from last year, well, we need to fix this shit. We really do. We really do. And if it's one person, they got to get over themselves. Seriously, they need to grow up and be a little bit more mature in certain ways, and then it'll be better. Cowboys got Mo on blast. Milbester saying quickly is going to walk in free agency anyway. They didn't lose anything with him. It's worse if they trade him away for nothing. There you go. See, I can see that. It's the same thing with us with OG right now. OG's in a weird position with his free agency and us coming up this year. I don't think we were going to invest in him. So I'm glad we traded and got something for him while we did. And so people aren't going to say it's Fred too all of a sudden. Cool Cat saying Precious is back home in New York and closer to the fashion runways. That's right. And RJ jerseys are going to be hit seller. Yeah, I'm actually kind of interested to see RJ working with Grady, with Scotty. We have a kind of an interesting little group of young players that are on our team now. RJ, Scotty, and Grady. Think about that little nucleus right there. Very, very interesting. Wayne saying, I listened to former players like Kenyon Martin, Rasheed Wallace, and Draymond Green. They all say body types like McDaniels have very marginal success in the NBA. I agree with them. Jalen next to go. Ooh, he's not very happy with the very skinny Jalen McDaniels. No, those guys are good guys to listen to overall, except for Draymond. I don't mind Kenyon, and Rasheed is awesome. Rasheed is somebody I really listen to. Seymour saying RJ should choose number 9. I need one ASAP. Yeah, he is number 9. He's number 9 in New York. He'll be number 9 here. It's Serge's old number. And the only person wearing number 9 in the Raptors right now is McCurr on the 905. But if he comes called up, he will not be wearing number 5. So number 5 is open on the Raptors, and that will be RJ's number. I'll bet you. Milbester saying Knicks front court defense got hit hard, so they get Achua and Anunoby with Hartenstein. Sims is almost back, and they gave blah 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 from Westchester Knicks. Blah 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 blah. They're definitely going to get the Mavs to blah 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 blah. All right, yeah, none of that's important or interesting to me. You will get listen. The one thing about Achua that's awesome is he can guard all 5 positions, just like Anunoby. And that's going to be the thing that you're going to love the most about this trade, Milbester, is you just got 2 guys that can guard anyone on the court. And we had 3 guys like that on our team. We just traded 2 of them to New York. Scotty's the other one. So now you got an all-round guy who can guard Jokic all the way down to Tyrese Maxey and both Precious and Anunoby. You're going to see that. You're going to find that. And you're going to enjoy it. Let's see. Rahul's here. Good to see Rahul. It's been a little bit, my man. Good to see you come back. Siakam's getting traded. Just build around Scotty and IQ with other players. If we get Keegan Murray from the Kings, that would be great. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still not seeing it. I don't feel that. I felt OG leaving, but I don't feel Pascal leaving for some reason. Milbester saying they got it last season at the draft after the Kyrie trade messed up. Blah, blah. Yeah, I don't care about your inner dealings with New York other than the one we did yesterday. Carlos saying one thing for sure: Masai and Bobby are amazing. Still in stealth mode. Nobody saw this coming. They really give the players enough time to work it out. But alas, we have to break up the current core. I think this really was the absolute last thing they had to do. This is the timeline. They had to do it by this time yesterday. And they did it. And they pulled the trigger. And everybody's like, holy crap. People that sleep in woke up to it. And they're like, what? This actually happened? They didn't actually think it was real. It's like there's all these rumors. And of course, Woj bombed it before Shams. And everybody's saying Woj owns you, Shams, because he got this out way before you. And it's true. It's true. Wayne's saying Scotty's antics with the referees were very discerning. During an intense playoff series, that's a losing preposition. Curry, LeBron complained while running back to set up their defensive stance. Yeah, I didn't like it at all. These are the kind of things that I don't like. I don't like the turn around and look at people. I don't like him jawing at the refs so much. This is not good habits, Scott. You got to break these habits, seriously. In some ways, whatever. That's your signature move. Well, it's really dumb and it's fundamentally bad, and you're going to get burned for it at some point. Bryce is saying, wow, I didn't even think of that. Bring up Porter. Yeah. Yeah. Stargate saying, okay, I'm going to say it. Unfortunately, I don't think Pascal and Scotty like Dennis very much. I've seen both of them not switch off when he gets caught on screens on defense, as well as waving Dennis off on offense. Yeah, I think you're right. There is some sort of like not totally like gelling kind of thing happening. And I don't know what it is. In some ways, if Dennis is coming in and he wants a level of professionalism and y'all are rejecting him for it, fuck y'all for that. Seriously, I trust Dennis. I can see what he's doing. I can see what he's all about. I can see the success that he had with Team Germany this summer. I know he's a longtime pro in this league who's played next to LeBron and Jason Tatum and different people like that. And he knows what it takes to play beside superstars and fit in. If there's people on this team that don't like Dennis for whatever reason, get over yourselves. In some ways, he's very open in his interview yesterday that he's reaching out to y'all. And if y'all aren't reaching back to Dennis, that's on y'all's fault. Seriously, he's on this team. Y'all need to get along with him, and you need to play better with him. Whatever problems are happening behind the scenes or whatever, that's the top stuff I'm talking about today. Y'all don't have to like each other in real life, but y'all need to play together on the court, and you need to like each other on the court. And Dennis doesn't feel like y'all have his back, and that's a problem. Seriously. Y'all can say, well, why does it matter what we're doing for Dennis and all this stuff? Well, Dennis is under contract for 2 years with our team, and he is on our team. And if we want to win, Dennis understands how to win better than Scotty and Pascal in some ways. And they need to listen to him. And if they're tuning him out, they're not listening to him, just like Scotty tuned out Thad Young, that's bullshit. They need to get over themselves and start listening to Dennis. In some ways, Dennis has way more experience than some of those guys, and they need to get over themselves. Seriously, this is part of professionalism. Is being a professional is working with your professionals that are with you at the game and play on your team. If you're not going to be professional and play with those people, then you're not a professional basketball player. This is what I will say right now. If you're a professional, you get along, you play with your team as a team. And if you have little grudges or you have a personality clash with certain people, whether it's Fred or Dennis, get the fuck over yourself right now is what I'm going to say right now. I know the problem isn't Dennis, y'all. I know for a fact that the problem on this team is not Dennis Schroeder. So if it's one of the other guys that have been on this team before him, they need to get over themselves right now is what I'm saying. Wayne's saying RJ won games for New York City. Precious won as nothing. OG's memorable shot against Boston is his legacy. DeMarcus Cousins deserves an opportunity. Solid center and dog, but Toronto is not that brave. I don't want him either. He's washed. It's too long since then. I just brought him up just as an example of somebody who's sitting outside and not playing anywhere right now. This is true. RJ's won games for New York. RJ's won games for Canada. And I like that. There's a clutch factor to him. In some ways, RJ's going to come in and show these guys how to take over and win games at the end of the game, I hope. That would be great. You know, Scotty could learn under RJ how to win games and take over. Quickly could do the same thing. Quickly's got that dog in him. He may come in and say, y'all are not stepping up to win this game. Well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go quickly out there and quickly win this game for us by hitting a big three, getting some layups and stuff. That's the one thing that I'm really wondering about this trade that may be the hugest thing that helps us is that these guys understand what it takes to win and they're ready to do the things that take what's win. And that's what I want more of on this team. That's what I want more of on this team. That's right. Cowboys saying, I like Hamidou Diallo from the Capital City Go-Go. Yeah, he's a good young athlete. I don't know if he's the one I would get for our open spot. Stargate saying it happened a lot last night. Yeah, the stuff you were talking about. Yeah, that's part of the reason why we lost last night. We didn't play connected. Wayne Strainer saying, yes, Cowboy. I just like Diallo, but I love his game. Love the players like that to be on my team. Yeah, he likes that spirit, that energy, that get after it of Hamadou Diallo. Thank you for the cutoff, Isaac. Yeah, there's is that Precious? Precious is still in there. Precious and OG. Yikes. Let's see. Mo saying 40 million, Lex. Wayne, yeah, 40 million for Siakam. Wayne, DeMarcus Cousins is boneheaded. Yeah, I'll agree with Monique on that. Mugabe saying, good morning, Raptors. Lex, this show that Scotty is not ready because this is the sad part of the game, and I hope Pascal gets a contract. Yeah, I'm with you, Mugabe, on all of that. Stargate saying Kings are not giving up Keegan Murray. Come on now. I think that's true after the game he had recently. Wayne saying if it's the players, I see it. Some just can't play basketball. Precious can't play basketball, and Boucher is close behind, but it's more he's more coachable. Okay. I say Malachi can't play basketball. Monique saying keep up the great work and streams. Go Raptors, go RJ, go IQ. In this cutoff. MSJ saying Tibbs and Precious, a match made in heaven. Haha, wait until he travels on 3 on 1 base fast break. And that's interesting. That could happen. Stargate saying Blackhawk said something interesting in Spaces last night. That Dennis is supposed to be Darko's guy in the court, but he seems to be the one deviating from Darko's system more than anyone. I agree with Blackhawk. I don't think that's true. I don't know who's actually following Darko's system right now. In some ways, I know that Scotty is not at times because he goes against them at the end of the game. In some ways, it's so unorganized and so not put together that it's really hard for us to tell who's following it and who isn't because we can't even tell what it is. We got to figure this out. And the players got to be more professional and listen to coach and execute what the coach wants to do. Then we can execute. We can see what the coach is doing, what right or wrong. If the players aren't even doing it right, we can't gauge what Darko's doing, is what I'm saying. Carlos saying, haha, looking forward to Tip's reaction to Flynn and Precious. That may be good must-watch TV. Isaac got me cut off. Wayne saying, with getting quickly, our second unit has leadership with Dennis or quickly. Our team has brain farts that are fixable. OG has an elder was not a leader and actually hurt us. Being vocal is key. I think this is very accurate what Wayne's saying. And it's in some ways, these guys are going to come in with more leadership on the court in winning ways. Watch. Let's see. Cowboy agrees. Raceman is saying 2,000%, 200% IQ. Let's go. That's right. IQ. We're all about the IQ now. Let's see. And somebody's saying something about Indiana. It jumped. There's way too much in here. If y'all have comments that aren't that important, please erase them before I get them right now, because I really do want to finish. I got a juice today, and I want to hang out with Adriana for New Year's. Let's see. Indiana really put it to the New York Knicks last night by setting a franchise record 23 trees. Cowboys saying later, Lex, bam, Rat Freaks, let's go. We will be a monster team in the new year. Let's go. Happy New Year's, Freaks. Stay safe. And Stargate saying if the front office is committed to building around Scotty, and Scotty, possibly Pascal also, is not getting along with the new players, especially on the court, then who's going to be the odd one out? Yeah, I don't understand this. Like, I don't want you doing LeBron shit, Scott. You know, LeBron really fucked up the Lakers for a few years because he was very particular about who he wanted to and didn't want to play with. And he was playing GM. Nah, fuck that shit. You need to start playing with whoever Bobby Masai put you next to. And you need to get over yourself. Seriously. Do you have issues with a guy like Fred telling you what to do, or Dennis? It's you, bro. It's you. It's not these guys. That's the thing I'm worried about, Scott. If this is your Achilles heel, is some sort of ego thing and listening or getting along with certain guys on your team, this is the thing that's going to hold you back for your career. And you can't have this be the thing to hold you back, because it's the one thing that's easy to fix. And it's just getting over yourself and being a better teammate and being together with these guys in the right way. You don't have to like them off the court, but you need to be with them as a team setting and on the court around the NBA. And these people need to feel like you have their backs, just like they want to give you they want to be there for you and have your back. And that's the thing. Dennis, I know, has your back. That's the thing. He's on your posts on Instagram, liking them. He's trying to give the olive branch. And he's like, come on, let's talk. We may not have anything in common. I may be German. I may have a YouTube channel. You may do Twitch, but we need to meet in the middle in some sort of way so that we can coexist on the basketball team on the court and play at a high level together. That's the thing I'm worried about right now. is that in some ways it's like, look, I get it. I can see the connection Scotty has with Chris and the connection that Scotty has with Pascal, but I don't see the connection with Jakob. I wonder about what is going on with Scotty and Jakob. You should get along with Jakob. You should like Jakob. There's a lot of things that Jakob does for you. They're good. You need to relish that friendship and cultivate it. Siakam is great. Chris is great. Precious and OG was great. But you need to get it with the other guys too. You can't have favorites and play like click as shit on the team, Scott. If you're doing clicks like you did with Delano and Justin your rookie year, get over that shit. Click kind of stuff on teams where you're like treating other players different than other players on the team because you have your favorites. Fuck that shit. All of them are your teammates. You need to get along with your whole team because I'm sick of this shit. This is team sports, Scott. Seriously, if this is a problem on our team, I want it to end today, especially with these two new guys coming in. You can practice it with these new guys. If you're going to take out some emotional shit on RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly because you're sad because OG Anunoby left, that's just the immaturity of you, Scott. So you need to just get with it. These new guys are coming. They're your friends. They're your teammates. You need to get along with them. And you need to work with them. Because if there's problems like this, there's a problem. Yeah, Lex, my voice is jerking for some reason. I don't know what it is. I'm feisty today, I guess. Let's see. Cowboys saying, thanks, Fiercey. And Raptors set the smoke alarm because we're going to be cooking teams. I like that. Cowboys saying later, Fiercey and Jillian, and I'm frozen. I shouldn't be frozen right now, am I? Freeze. All right, let's see. See you, Cowboy. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's, y'all. Everyone smash the like button. Thank you. Nameless saying this recent trade with New York is the reason nobody likes dealing with Messiah and Bobby. Yeah, sure. Wayne saying totally Nameless. Dunk for that. You want to give Nameless a dunk? All right, let me give Nameless a dunk. I am in overtime, but I don't care. It's an important day in Raptors history yesterday, whether it was a day of failure or not. Let's see. Totally Nameless. Yep. Nameless, we love Messiah and Bobby. Bobo. Wayne saying opponents. Jillian, opponents don't like dealing with us because we get better of them in the deals. Jillian saying some New Yorkers think OG's the better deal. I thought he was inconsistent for us, but he just had checked out. We'll have to see. She gave me the drink water. I'm just going to try and run through real quick. Kareem saying, guys, I noticed that dunk tally and I'm at 100. I'm grateful to be in this chat with you guys. Most of these dunks were alley-oops from Neon Moon. Nonetheless, happy New Year's to you guys. Let's go Raps. Yeah, today's the last day. I'm not going to add any more dunks to that sheet for this year after today. And Kareem is our dunk champion. And I'm going to tell y'all what he's won, guys. This is what you've won, Kareem. And I'm going to come see you in the city in the new year soon. You have won a copy of We the North by Doug Smith. It's a hard copy. And I'm going to sign it. And I might even write, fuck you, Doug Smith, in the front of it. And I'll give it to you. So you're getting a copy of this book, Kareem. I don't know if you have this book, but this is Dunk Champion Kareem is getting this prize for this channel. It's a hard copy of the We the North book by Doug Smith. There you go. I'm going to bring it to you, Kareem, some point in the new year. That's your prize for being Dunk Champion this year. And I'm going to sign it myself. And I might, if you want, I'll put a personalized greeting to Doug Smith in it for you. Yeah, I'll write it in. I'll write something real nice for him in there. Yeah. So congratulations, Kareem. You've done a great job being witty, factual, interesting, and just having great sense of humor. And that's why you won, man. Wayne saying OG was very valuable for sure. We made him valuable and then we cashed out. Yeah. Yeah. It's another one of our projects. It's just like Norman. It's just like Fred. It's just like Pascal. We build guys into bigger things and they get paid. And that's what the Kyle Lowry way was. Yeah. Congratulations to Kareem. That's right. Well deserved. I don't know how I'm second. It's because you gave so many alley-oops. People gave you alley-oops back. Fiercely saying, Milbester, the name is Anunoby. Put some respect on his name. That's right. You guys will get his name right. And when you write OG, there's dots after each initial. O.G. Now, it's not totally correct for his name because it doesn't totally make sense, but that's how he wants to do it. So if you want to do it right, put O.G. That's the way he likes it. Seymour saying, Dunk Champ Kareem, I'm coming for that title next season, but salute to you, champ. How are you going to do that when you're John Stockton and he's Karl Malone? I'm sorry, Cowboy, but you are John Stockton and he is Karl Malone. Let's see. Kareem saying, next season I'm entering the three-point contest. I don't know what three-pointers would be. That's interesting. Maybe we could come up with an idea for a three-pointer is a funny but factual and also very interesting fact. It has to have three sides to it that make it really awesome. And maybe threes will be very rare. I'll be like, wow, that's a three-point comment because it's funny, it's actually really insightful, and it's very intelligent. I don't know. Maybe it'll have to be something like that. I don't know. Seymour's got me blowing up, and me there, and then Wayne saying, "Do we envision hang on, y'all are really don't add anymore. Do we envision the Raptors meeting the Knicks in the playoffs? It's obvious now. Dennis not getting help, and it looks bad on Dennis, the average observer, but it's not Dennis, it's his teammates. That's right. Sometimes they want to shoot the messenger when he's just being honest and he's being upfront about this. Seriously, I'm gonna be behind old heads when it comes down to this, especially when I know the problems are happening. Wayne sees the same things that I'm seeing, and we see it. All right, Cream saying, "See y'all next year." That's right. All right, we're past 12 and I'm 10 minutes past. I'm going to finish right now. Finally, you can hear me. I don't know what's been going on with my microphone. It's not totally right. Well, I'll have a new one tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Fun guy saying, "What are you talking about, man? What with Scotty? Scotty ain't no damn problem. If anything, he's the only reason our locker room is still together. All you hear is, I love Scotty this and that." Well, this is the thing. He's the epicenter of our team. And in some ways, we thought we got rid of certain problems with Fred and Nick, but I don't think they were the problems. I think that the problems may still be on this team. And if the problems are happening with new people coming in, I'm going to think about this. I know it's not Siakam. Siakam has been the way he's been the whole time he's been here. In some ways, I can see Scotty being a little cliquish and maybe not being very warm to people he doesn't really like on the team. And that can be an issue. I'm just saying. I don't know for sure. I could be speculating. I could be completely wrong on this. I'm just trying to read between the lines and what Dennis said yesterday and what Pascal has been saying and all the other things I've been observing in the last couple of years. That's all. Paul B saying Happy New Year's quickly is going to take us to the top. I like that. Fun guy saying Dennis loves the shit out of Scotty. He said it many times. The first thing he ever said was Scotty's funny as fuck. They all say that about him. You can see the hurt with OG's trade. These guys love Scotty. I agree. I know Dennis really likes Scotty, and he sees how good he could be. That's the sad thing about this. If Scott is rejecting older leaders on this team regularly, that's a problem. That is a problem. And I can see that from him on Twitch, that he doesn't like people telling him what to do. That's just something we saw. Like I would be on his chat and I'd tell him, "You need to do this, Scott." He's like, "Raptor Street, why are you telling me what to do?" Is what he would say to me. So I could just see, like, possibly you saw how he reacted to Thad in that halftime clip when Thad was trying to tell him not to do something, and he was dismissive to Thad and he disrespected him in some ways. In some ways, Scotty is not respecting old heads and old head advice talking to him. And I think that's the disconnect. That these guys are like, Fred's trying to help you. You got to listen to him. He may have tough love with you, and you may need to listen to him, Scott. No, I don't want to listen to Fred. I don't like him. I don't want to hear what he has to say. Okay. All right. Well, he's gone. All right. We got Dennis now. Dennis is the guy. He really likes you. He worked with LeBron. He can make you way better and make you even better and help you. I don't really like Dennis. I'm not going to listen to him. Okay. Well, what the fuck, Scott? This is kind of where I'm like with this whole thing with Scott. I'm wondering if he's tuning out these guys like Thaddeus in that one incident. And it's just like, what the fuck? He's the most talented guy on our team. He's the franchise center. He's the most important player on our team. But why is he consistently having problems with older vet players on this team? Is what I'm wondering about. Now, that may not be true at all. And I may be completely wrong. And I apologize if that's not what is happening. But in some ways, this is what I'm seeing from the outside that I feel like is what's going on. That it won't matter with any of the other players because they're not important enough. Scotty is so damn important to this team that it all revolves around him. And if there's dysfunction on this team, it revolves around him, is what I would Windhurst out of that. Because it could be dysfunction around Grady. Who cares? Grady's not going to have dysfunction. It's not important right now. Koloko, he's not even there. Who is it then? Is it Gary? No, I don't think it's Gary. He's very professional. His father played in the NBA. He was raised right on this. No. Okay, was it Precious and Malachi? No, they're gone. They're gone. They're out of the picture. In some ways, Dennis saying what he said last night made it more clear who the problem is because a lot of the people that may have been the problem are out of the picture all of a sudden. And it's now he's like, well, now I see that Malachi and Precious and OG are gone. I want to point out that maybe there's one more person that needs to do it still. And some people get mad at Dennis being like that, but to me, thank you. Because in some ways you help us illuminate some of the things we thought was already wrong with this team. That they're not together on defense, they don't trust each other, and that they're not clicking exactly right as a unit. And if that's the problem, well, we need the leader, the top dog, to start showing leadership of everybody should click together in the right way. And that's where I start with that. Yeah. Let's keep going. Fiercey saying, Lex, does this mean that Tuesday trivia is a tie, 2 champs? No, the trivia doesn't end until the end of the regular season. It's not the end of the year. Dunk is going to be for the year, but the trivia will end when there's an NBA champion. So you and Ahmet are going until we crown an NBA champion on that trivia. So yeah, you're halfway through the season. It's basically it. Let's see. Racing was saying, nice work, Lex and Raptors family. Happy New Year. It's the best for everyone in 2024. Let's go. The last let's go of 2023. Let's go. Kareem's got the book. Fiercely saying, not fuck you, Doug Smith. Yeah, I'll write that in that book. I could write that in there. And Cowboys clapping. Cowboys saying, I need a signature, Lex, for being Stockton. You want what? Wait, you want another award or something? I don't know. I'll figure that out. Fun guy saying, bro, have you seen Siakam in interviews? He's definitely 100% potentially the problem. He seems checked out and a hater. I've seen Siakam in the interviews, and he's sad. He's depressed, and he's down. But he's still working at a really high level and playing at a very high level right now. So that's the crazy thing. I don't know, man. I don't know what Siakam is. He's a question mark. But in some ways, I think there's a path for him to still be on this team. Cowboys saying, later, family. Enough. Love your, enjoy your night and Raptor Streaks. Yeah, have a great New Year's. Y'all be safe. Partake and have a very good time, but be responsible. There's a lot of things out there for New Year's that can get you around where you do not have to make poor decision by yourself. And I would say just take that transit or get a cab if you're going to be out having a good time. Dunk for Adriana. All right, we'll give an Adriana dunk. Adriana, you're getting a dunk. She's putting up with me going a little overtime right now. I told her I'd be done at noon. She was like, you're going to be done at noon? It's a long stream. And I was like, yeah, I know there's a lot to talk about. Fun guy saying, all the rumors getting to Pascal and losing his partner, Fred, also. Definitely not Scotty. I see way more problems than people, and fuck Thad. Anyone screaming in the face is fucked. Scotty was in no wrong. No, and no. First of all, Siakam has a long time with his team. He doesn't cause these kind of waves. It's somebody new that's caused these kind of waves with our team. And it has to be somebody important. It's not Siakam, man. If anything, Siakam is kind of in the woodwork and not being more out in the forefront and doing things. In some ways, he's very easygoing. He's very easy to get along with. He's very flexible. That's what I'm wondering about. There's somebody on this team who's not being flexible. And the sign is, look, Thaddeus is in the league for a long time. I trust him. He doesn't get on somebody like that. It's funny how we keep bringing this up, and everybody thinks that Thaddeus is wrong for what he did. That is not what happened in that situation. I think in some ways it's like young people seeing an old person yell at them, and they're like, the old person's wrong. No, Thaddeus would not do that publicly in front of everybody unless it was absolutely necessary. He understands NBA life, and he understands what being on a good team, a good, healthy team is, because he's been on so many damn teams in 18 years in the league. So I'm sorry. There's no way that Thaddeus is wrong for berating Scott at that time, at that halftime, in that moment. That was Scotty not listening to the old heads and him being disrespectful to Thaddeus. And whoever, I think it was disrespectful to Gary in that situation too, from what I heard. So I don't see this. You got to understand, there's some immaturity with Scott that is not working into him being the best pro that he can be right now. And he has to work through that and grow up a bit. He's grown up a lot already this season, and we're showing the signs. In fact, Dennis said that part of the difference with what's going on with Scotty right now is he's approaching the game differently from the outside, and he's better prepared than he was last year. That's part of the reason why he's making a leap this year, is because he's preparing for games better and he's maturing more. There's just more maturation in different areas that he's got to go through. And some of it's personal relationships with other players on the team. I see it. It's just so clear. Cowboy is saying alley-oop to Lex for just last one. You're going to give me one? All right. That's going to put me up above Isaac. I was tied with Isaac. Now I'm tied with Tom Duke, which I don't see Tom Duke anymore. I'll miss you, Tom. You should come back. We need to change our emotes. Let's keep going. Fun guy saying, I'm much older than Scotty, and I'd tell Thad to fuck off too, yelling in my face. Who gives a fuck about the vet? It's not justified to get in people's face during shooting practice. It is. That's what I'm saying, fun guy. He obviously did something very egregious for him to do that. Thaddeus not that's not like Thaddeus's character ever. That's why I know Scotty did something really bad for Thaddeus to do that. And listen, you can say what you want to say, but that sounds like that is immature. What you're saying, it's like who gives a fuck about Thad? That's what the casuals online they're putting him down to Shakina all the time are saying. Why is he even in this league? He's so old. He's stealing money from the Raptors. See, that's immature, and that's a really bad take because he helps in all kinds of ways. In fact, he helped us last night by coming in when we had nobody to play, and he played solid basketball for us. He's doing all kinds of things behind the scenes. He's a very integral, important part of our team. But people that just say, "Oh, he's DMP. DMP is an old head. He shouldn't even be in the league anymore." They disrespect him. They don't honor the fact that he's achieved 18 seasons in the league. And if somebody's in the league for 18 seasons, they obviously did something right. So I'm sorry. You're exactly wrong, fun guy, on your stance and your opinion about the interaction with Scotty and Thad from that time. You're exactly wrong. Exactly wrong. Stargate saying, I don't understand this apparent hate of Pascal. The issue is not Pascal or Scotty. It isn't really Dennis either, to be honest. Honestly, and it doesn't have to be Scotty. It doesn't have to be Dennis. It doesn't have to be Pascal. They just need to work it out. And if somebody's being stubborn and they're not getting to the table and meeting with the other ones, it's that person's fault. And Scotty, and I'm hearing Dennis saying, I'm extending to the other people. I want this. I want to cultivate this. I want to talk to my teammates and get to know them better and become closer and chummier with them. But they're standoffish. They're putting up barriers. They're not allowing me in, is what Dennis was saying last night, is what I heard from him. So that's not on Dennis. He's trying. He's trying to reach out. If they're not reaching the other way, fun guy saying, I agree, Stargate, but I'm pissed that Lex is disregarding that and just pointing fingers at Scotty because he's young in the future. Scotty ain't no locker room disease, bro. He's never been ever. You don't know that. You don't know that, fun guy. I'm telling you, when I watched Scotty on Twitch, I watched him with open eyes. I didn't just watch him as like, I love the Raptors and I just love Scotty like Scotty lovers would. I wanted to see him for all of his pluses and negatives. I took note of them. I took note of his personality. I took note of the way he carries himself. I took note of what made him mad. I took note of what he enjoyed. I took note of how he treated Lloyd. I took note of a lot of things. And you can ask people like Isaac Campbell. You can ask people like Cool Cat that were in there regularly with us. We got to know his personality. And there's some things about him that are cliquish. And I'm just worried that he's running cliques around our team. He had his little rookie clique with Delano and Justin before, and that probably pissed Fred off because they were immature and they were acting out as kids on the team. And that may have been part of the disconnect between Fred was saying, these guys are immature on our team. I don't know what they're doing. Like, what is wrong with them? You know, and that's Fred crying out at that time. I'm siding with Fred. I'm sorry. Because these guys are rookies. They don't know jack shit about the NBA. All right. And then the other thing is like, look, this is consistent right now. Dennis has fit in on so many teams his whole entire career, and he's been a good teammate, and it's not been an issue with Dennis for the most part his whole entire career. That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. Let's see. Wayne's saying winning brings happiness. Yeah, but if we don't know how to win, we can't get there. Milbester's saying Siakam is not the problem for Toronto, and as a Knicks fan, he's always gave us problems. You know what, Milbester, you might get the last dunk real quick for that comment because I think that's hilarious. Milbester getting added at the last second for one dunk for that awesome comment that was hilarious right there. Let's see. Stargate saying it's not Pascal. Pascal's just a scapegoat for these Penserites who don't have Fred to bash now. Pascal's traded, they leave the team, they'll jump on someone else. RJ now. Yeah, I totally agree with this. And that's part of his whole confusion, his bullshit that he's trying to spawn from his stupid ass channel. It's totally true. Let's see. Yep. And I could see them doing that. Fun guy saying you can see in Scotty's play, he cares about elevating people and seeing people happy, and pointing fingers at the one guy who may be trying to keep it all together is absolutely insane. All right. On the court. Yeah. I want to see him set up Dennis. In some ways, I'll keep track of where he's throwing assists to. How about that? We're going to keep track of where everybody's throwing assists to. Dennis, Pascal, and Scotty, and RJ. Why not? We'll see who these guys are setting up to get assists to. And if they're not getting the ball to certain people on the team, well, there may be that they don't like those people. I'll look at that. In some ways, you're right. Scotty is an unselfish player on the court, but that doesn't mean he's unselfish off the court. And that's the thing I'm worried about. Dennis hinted that some people have big egos on the team. by saying that, oh, they think because people bring them the shoes and they do all the things for them, they cater to them, pamper them, that they get big egos because they live that NBA life. Well, there's a certain level of gratitude and grounding and checking yourself that you need every single individual in the NBA. Because in some ways, you think you're hot shit and you are, and you continue to do that, you may have blind spots and you may have problems later on down the road. That's all I'm saying. In some ways, I want Scott to be a well-grounded person, a rounded person that is kind of sees the whole thing of it all. And there may be a blind spot to him right now that he may think he's really good at, but he's not. And we need to get him to fix it, is what I'm saying. But yeah, I agree. He elevates people on the court, and he's very happy to see other guys get passes and do well. It's just behind the scenes. He needs to be a teammate in certain ways also. Isaac saying, no more comments, fam. And Fun Guy saying, pretty sure Fred was mostly talking about the Champennies and Bantons and Achuas. Can't just throw in Scotty with Fred's criticism because he's young. Scotty plays with his starters. Those guys were not, yeah. Okay, Fun Guy, that's fair. I don't know for sure. Once again, everything I've said about Scotty and the issues with our team is speculation. I don't know if it's true or not. In some ways, I want him to prove me wrong all around. In some ways, I just want to see these problems or issues that may be happening with Dennis magically disappear. As far as like all of a sudden, Dennis and Scotty are chums and best friends forever. That's what I want to see. That's the only thing I want to see. I want to see these two new guys show up and they fit and everybody's big, happy family. And there's no issues of worrying about whether guys get along or not. That's a big problem. All right, I'm going to get done in 3 hours. That's not bad. We'll agree to disagree, bro. It's all good. Respect. Fun Guy. Happy New Year's. And I hope you have a fantastic evening tonight for sure. Yeah, drink water. Drink water. I got it. I'll drink it in a sec. And I will be drinking water tonight too as an alcoholic. I will not be drinking tonight. All right, Raptors lost a 2-point loss to the Pistons. You can look at it however you want. You can look at it as the worst defeat in the history of the Raptors. That's bullshit. But whatever. We made a big trade yesterday. It was fantastic. My 3 stars of the game for the Raptors game were Siakam, Schroeder, and Trent. And then on the other side for the 905 and the loss, 10-point loss to Wisconsin Herd, Winslow, Gee, and Morcell. All right, let me make sure I didn't miss anything I want to say. I was going to do the Raptors Instagram stories, but they don't really deserve it right now. And yeah, that's about it. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me. Tomorrow we'll do a preview for the Cleveland game, and I'll see you next year with a new microphone. All right, y'all. I love y'all. It's a crazy day yesterday. Lots to talk about today. I feel like this trade was a really big deal, and it's going to really help the Raptors going forward. Hopefully, we'll see results right away, and hopefully, we'll start winning at a better clip going right away in 2024. Of course, we're going on the road immediately after we play against the Cavs. We're going on a very long road trip for most of January. It'll be a good, true test for integrating IQ and RJ into our team very soon. All right, y'all. We just wish the best. Here's to a great 2024 calendar year for the Toronto Raptors franchise and integrating our guy RJ coming back. I'm really excited about this. This is going to be fantastic. And listen, Raptors fans, stay positive and keep your head up. And Scotty, I love you, bro. I only say the things I say on my stream because I want you to be absolutely the top-notch, top superstar that you can be in the NBA. And I don't want you to even get in your own way because that's the thing. Sometimes we get in our own way, and we don't need to do that. We want you to get out of your own way so you can be absolutely the best that you can be, man. That's right. See everybody next year, and I'm done. Happy New Year's, brother. Live it up, smoke it up. See you in the new year. Much love. Much love to you, Fun Guy. Also, I love you guys, RFF. I appreciate y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And join if you want, Bryce. It's just one button, just a little bit of fundage. And boom, you get that green letters right there. You're going to go watch football, Milbester? All right. Thank you, Knicks. Thank you, Milbester, for doing a deal with us. Now, can you drop the lawsuit, please? All right, y'all. Let's go, RJ. Let's go, Emmanuel, quickly. Let's go, Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam, Darko Rajakovic, and the rest of the Raptors into 2024 in a winning way. Let's go.